I'd say like yeah, people liked it.
Oh no, just some people. We've got new people in the chat now, so
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
Hmm.
it can change.
Things change.
Yeah.
All right.
Originally, yeah, we'll wait for answers. Those will come in, but
I think I just started my stream, so
okay. I'll
yeah.
let you get back to it.
Yeah,
No
yeah, yeah,
worries.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, you're good. These things I haven't really like I don't have a stream schedule, so I have no like need to. There's no need for me to like yo what is up like because there's no like this is still new and kind of like fumbling through it. So I think
Gotcha.
people hopefully will just kind of funnel in as I do my thing and just kind of keep it casual, keep it like non-professional for now.
That makes sense.
Honestly, the music is distracting me. It's like beats, it's drums.
Oh,
It's just distracting me.
dang.
Okay. All right, no worries. Well, in that
Kill
case,
it. That's different.
it is killed. It is now killed. We have no-fi. We had lo-fi. Now we've got no-fi.
Just gonna
So-
eat my food. I have mac and cheese that I'm eating with chopsticks. So
This
just gonna
is
watch one.
wild. I can
Gotcha.
see him
Gotcha.
eating his mac and cheese live. People have to pay for that kind of service.
I just wait.
Can you get a little closer to the mic?
Please don't divide. Oh my god.
He zoomed in to like crop out the mac.
This is high quality stuff
taste
right
it.
here.
Yeah.
This is high tier Blender content.
What's
This or that.
what's your camera?
Yeah, it's a Lumix S5.
This or that. I might bring it back on in a little bit. The music, if you like it, if other people like it too.
I here's my take. It's like if I'm a viewer and I like the music,
Yeah.
I could just put music on in like a separate tab and
That's
turn it down.
possible.
I've done that before with like videos and stuff that have no music and they're just like boring talking.
Bro,
Yeah, it's-
Lumix S5
possible.
is beefy.
Yeah, it's my first camera. Like I have never had an actual good quality camera like this. All my cameras have been like phone cameras.
It's like $1,000 a mirror. It's power.
No,
It
it's
is
not.
raw
It's
power.
actually mirrorless.
It's like what less?
Mirrorless? You said a mirror?
I said I
Mirrorless.
told Amir
Oh.
it's $1,000,
I
and
know.
then you flexed that it's mirrorless.
I know. I heard what you said. I was making a joke.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I
Dang,
missed
went
it.
over my
Now-
head.
Now I get it. Now I get it.
Ooh,
Wait, I can.
Yeah.
Since I'm
And,
not haven't fully started yet, I'm just gonna keep chilling.
Do your thing. Yeah, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep on talking a little bit about like some things going on here. So, if you guys like to talk as well, I'm gonna.
Oh, there we go.
damn, we're about to get kicked off.
You guys are welcome to leave. No, I was not gonna say that. But I might just put you on mute depending. Periodically, I'll warn you guys in
How do
advance.
Here we go.
Yeah, and then I'll turn you guys back on.
There we go. I
Um,
feel like I
No,
stretched
do
my...
your thing. Go ahead and give your spiel.
What are you spieling about?
I'm spieling about what's happening right now with this sketch. It's undergoing a little bit of a change from where it was before, and I'm going to explain why. So,
Okay.
guys, just to give you all an update, what I'm doing right now is I wanted to kind of create. Originally, I had more of a kind of webbed leaf structure going on. I had some buds before, and I think what I want is something that's going to be a bit more frilled with the actual leaf pattern here. So the reason why I'm going back and making these changes is just to make it appear a bit more floral than organic, because I feel like the previous kind of webbed approach is a little misleading.
What's up, Tyler?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't. I need to mute myself when I talk on your stream.
Yeah, you can mute
No,
yourself
tell-
in the.
What's up, Tyler, dude?
Tell him that Creative Animus said hey. So
He's from the previous stream. He was here last time, so he's a real.
dude,
Oh
nice.
yeah,
he's a real.
he
one.
was he was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
he was the Patreon guy, right?
I think Tyler does parkour like professionally. I could be wrong.
Ooh.
Oh, never,
Yeah, like
I
owns
must
a,
have got the wrong
owns
guy
like
then.
a... Am I right about that? I don't know. I hope I am.
Yeah.
Um, Amir, it looked like the last design you had was more like a succulent, in my
Oh.
opinion. It had little
Yeah.
succulent bulbs coming off of it.
You're right, it did. And I'm gonna just reply really quickly to this or that and get right back to the succulent pattern thing because, yeah, like that's another approach I'm considering too. This or that, it's not. How could I put this? Earlier, the earlier design does give me more of a Venus flytrap vibe with the kind of like fingery webbed approach, and I don't want it to appear like that, not on purpose anyway. And so now with this design I'm talking about, it's a little.
It's good. It's macaroni and cheese I was eating with chopsticks. So, in-depth review. Oh yeah, sure. Let's get it back out of the trash. What is this? This is the mac and cheese. 3.5 minutes in the microwave. Sorry, I need to get these off. 3.5 minutes in the microwave, but I do 3 because at the extra 30 seconds, it like starts to boil over and make a mess. I mean, it starts to boil over immediately, to be honest. There's some like tissue stuck on the bottom of it from that happening. Yeah, it's actually very solid. I would say like 6, maybe 5 out of 10. It's like good enough. It's filling. Maybe even a 4 out of 10, to be honest. It's like I'm more of a Velveeta guy, so these are sometimes this is like a 3 depending on what you're expecting. It could be a 3 out of 10. So it's kind of like good enough. It's like a filler meal. It's just eating like just filler food. But I always put like hot sauce in there or something because it's just not enough with the powdery mac or powdery cheese. I always got to put some like something in there, some meat, some ham, something. That's my review. Call it craft dinner. Yeah, I've actually heard it, be called that as well. I think I usually also have it bigger, like in a box or something. It's never in a tiny little can like that thing, a little cup. All right, let's see. I'm going to make myself small again and just proceed with, proceed with this room. So just a quick update over the weekend. I did a little bit of work on this bookshelf, and basically, if you watch the video that's up right now, you'll see me at the beginning talk about how I retextured these manga books from the originally recorded video. So originally I used AI textures that really did not work out well. I just couldn't get it to work right. Then I found a bunch of real images and used those. So that's what's on the video right now. And then I went to, over the weekend, I found like a library, a manga. There's a manga section at a library. I took a bunch of really cool pictures. I posted on my socials. You can see that process, how I take pictures and then bring them into Blender. And yeah, so I swapped them out. So if I hide this bookshelf, you can actually see there's, spines that correspond with the front. It's a very minor detail, but I think that it just makes it a little bit more interesting to look at. And I know that detail is there. There's some Demon Slayer. There's some stuff up here, Jujutsu Kaisen and Death Note. Let's see, there's Inuyasha here. A bunch of other stuff. So yeah. Let me turn the things back on, the bookshelf. But I was actually working on more parts. I was working on, let's see. So, okay, here's some updates. I made some updates. I recorded them, and they'll be up on Patreon later. But the updates are, I updated this. So this air conditioning unit, I think, looks a lot better. There's a plug. Like, I really went in on the detail here. There's Let me actually see if I can turn these guys down. They're loud. There we go. Yeah, so the wall plug, if you want to look at the polygons, it's pretty low poly. Everything's pretty low poly. But yeah, like I'm pretty happy with it. The textures are turning out pretty good. What's up, Yoel? Thanks, man. Let's see. It's got this thing. Let me pull up the PureRef. I have a PureRef board with stuff on it. Let me see if I can get it open. Load, recent. Aha. So here's the PureRef board of all of the reference images I was using. So I went through and found a bunch of screenshots from the show, and I just kind of tried to categorize them just in terms of similar angles. And yeah, so I think this is from season 2. Like, it doesn't, I was expecting it to be very different from different seasons, but it really wasn't, luckily, which I think was a huge help. And season 2 has more angles of parts outside of the bedroom, kind of like more in the kitchen, more in the bathroom, which you don't really see. I don't remember if you see that in season 1, if at all. So there's, you know, some scope creep we can do if we want to get there. I also took a bunch of screenshots of like items and stuff that I thought would be kind of cool, little Easter eggs to put in there, like the cup, the bug spray, alarm clock, and then this thing. So last stream, I think I was working on the rice cooker thing, and I didn't know what it was. I was just kind of working off a very low res screenshot, but turns out I think it is some type of rice cooker or a heater. I can't read that, but coincidentally enough, I just typed like a search on YouTube for somebody who maybe has like a breakdown of Saitama's bedroom, or like some more knowledge about all the stuff that's in it, because I know that a lot of these areas that are shown in the anime are based off of real places in Japan. So I was wondering if there's like a tour of an apartment that looks like the real apartment, like that it's based on or something. And there wasn't, but there was an architect YouTube channel. If I find him later, I'll link him in the description. But it was really, really cool because he did pretty much exactly what I'm doing here. And for a second, I felt a little deflated because I was like, oh, well, this has been done. There's no reason I should be doing it. But it was actually really, really educational. And he did a whole like architectural visualization of it. So it was done not, I would say, in the same like quality or level of realism as I'm doing it, but it was still really, really insightful for me to learn. And he said that he mostly used this comic drawing of the apartment layout, and from that he was able to, you know, look at a bunch of other reference and do research on like the materials and stuff in Japanese housing. And it was really cool, really awesome for me to see, because like, what are the chances somebody else is doing the same project or try to do the same thing? But yeah, so I just kind of, some of these screenshots point at the bookshelf and like the drinks and stuff that are on top. Some of them here showed this structure here on the right, like this like corner piece. That's not really like, it's here, but you'd be surprised how little they really show the angles that like I need to see. I think some of the angles, either they don't show it or it looks like it's not even there, but that's just these little details that I'm looking for. Like there's this opening here for the kitchen. There's a bookshelf underneath it. There's a phone and then some type of light switch and then a light right above it. I never noticed that light. So yeah, the light. I also started seeing stuff that were outside of the bedroom, and originally I just wanted to do the bedroom, but it's been really kind of cool, at least, to learn about the other parts of the apartment that I've never really paid attention to. So that's why that inspired me to kind of block out the other half of the house, and I just kind of put the rooms there. Just maybe I'll do them in the future, maybe I won't, but it's fun to have them there just in case. I might have to do a little bit of the kitchen if you're going to be able to like look inside of it. So we'll see if that's like, if I need to get to that point. Let's see, what else did I do? I think I did the outside a little bit. Yeah, there's like a balcony here, and also the balcony looks different in the show. So in the show, there's some shots from the outside, I think, or maybe I don't have those. Let me think. Let me look around. Um. Oh yeah, here. So here you can kind of get an idea for what the outside looks like. There's this vent here that I'd never noticed, and you can see it here. And at first I thought this was a white door with like a vent on it, but it really is just a vent in the wall that leads outside, and I think it's just like for air ventilation or something. This is a really, really good shot. This was, I think, from season 2, really good shot of the AC, and it looks a lot bigger, like coming off the wall. But you look at this angle here, it's really coming off the wall, even more so than this shot. Like this one, maybe it's the perspective, it just doesn't look like it's that like deep, but here it really looks gigantic. So I use this as the primary reference for my model here. So that was really, really helpful and instrumental in helping me model that. But yeah, so yeah, you can see I added the little crusty vent there, and I'm not really sure if I want to do the exterior or block anything out. I mostly just have it there for like lighting, so that the lighting comes in accurately. So let's see. If I turn the ceiling on, yeah, you can see kind of, and if I hide the curtains, you can see how, you can kind of see how the lighting looks, how it comes in. And so that will just be useful for when if I duplicate this, it's kind of like this because there's like balconies on both levels. So if I do this, then this will kind of obstruct the lighting in a specific way. So today, let's see, what am I going to work on? I think, let's see, what do we have here? This was cool because I could probably take this. The rice cooker, I'm not going to bother with it. I might make the cups. I think making these 2 cups would be kind of cool. Add some green tea inside of them. The TV, that's a good reference right there. There's a little piggy bank thing. So I'm probably going to try to work on the TV, and then the cups, just some minor assets. And let's see. Really, for the most part, I think I've blocked everything out. It's just a matter of like style and adjusting some of the items. Like the bed is mostly folded, but I might want to have it be like unfolded, like laid out, because I just think it uses that space better. Kind of like this. Having it like this, I think, would be cool. I'm not sure. Maybe folded. Maybe I'll keep it folded. So one thing. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I needed to texture this thing. This like little wipes. And then I need to have a chair. So really the only things left to actually model is the piggy bank, this like board here that's always here, and maybe like these bottles with the packaging on them. I think that's pretty much it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's full of wild creatures, massive monsters, flora and fauna, magic, all of that fun stuff. And so what we're looking at right here is in fact going to be the beginnings of a giant shell.
I'm
And on
back.
the topic of shells, we have somebody who is appropriately named from the Isopodian Commonwealth. Welcome. Super happy to have you onto the stream. We were actually talking about shelled creatures, so you would relate to your fellow Isopodians with this subject matter.
The way that you announced that was like like a fighting announcer from the right corner, the Isopodian Commonwealth.
Yes. No, every time I see your name on, any of the comments to my videos, I just have to say I love what you're doing with your branding. So I had to
Yeah,
announce this though.
thank you
Yeah.
for speaking up for your kind. There's not enough people who are willing to show enough backbone per se.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is a struggle when you're an invertebrate.
But please continue.
That being said, I do want to show just various hints of the size and scale of the wildlife that exists here. And so what I'm going to do is just toggle something very quickly. I'm going to hide that for a second and turn this back on and put this up to a decent opacity. So yeah, for some of those examples, we have things like giant crustaceans. We have these, giant sand crabs, for
So, Joe.
instance.
Oh,
That
I'm sorry. I'm here.
oh,
By
no,
the
you're
way, I'm
fine.
back.
It's so funny. We've been yammering about stories for this entire time, and the second you come
Yammering.
back is when Amir is talking about his art.
the
Mhm.
lore to things. No, it's okay. Welcome back, Mike. But yeah, so one of the things I was saying was, yeah, so there's this recurring theme of size and scale of wildlife. And so what I also want to introduce is that same concept and things that are a bit more docile and neutral in your encounters with them as you're exploring this world. And one of which is going to be this giant conch shell that we're looking at over here. And that's something else that I want to make an asset for essentially in the next video that I'm going to release this content on. And so that is what is being drawn right now. So yes, in a way, more fish, but to be more accurate for you, Isopodian Commonwealth, more invertebrates. So yeah. Back to your story, Devon. We were talking
Fascinating.
about. Sorry, Mike. Go on. Say
No,
your
no,
thing.
no. I got nothing to add.
I
Yeah,
hear
do
you.
you want to hear a story?
Sure.
Yeah.
What's up? What do you guys got?
So, Amir and I went to college together.
Mm-hmm.
There were some antics that happened. This is just one of
Antics.
those many antics that occurred in our
Antics
common
is a
youth.
way
At this
of-
point, we were 21. No
Oh.
alcohol was involved,
Oh.
I believe. No, I was sober. I'm just going to frame this up. I'm going to get the boring part out of the way first. I worked at the bookstore on campus, and I had a very early shift that day, and I just did not want to drive in traffic. I didn't live on campus at the time, so Amir did. I wanted to room with him that night, just crash on his couch, and in the morning go to work my shift or whatever. So we were just having a good time, had some dinner, played some games, beat his butt in Smash, and as we're chilling, um, I think Amir started to notice that there was something odd about his light switch. It started with the light switch, right? I believe it was the
There's
light
something.
switch.
Yeah, there's something strange going on. Do you want to continue this?
What the
Because
hell?
I can
Yeah.
I can fill in.
The way you
Yeah,
guys are
dude,
talking.
That was your light. Your light turned off, right? And you went
Yeah,
to
yeah.
mess with the light to try and turn it back on, and that's
Yeah.
about around the time where you saw that your light switch was leaking.
That's okay. So here's what happened, right? I go to turn off this light switch, and I feel something wet on my finger.
Mm.
Okay, I look down at the power outlet because the light switch isn't working. Like there's something funky going on. I hear this dripping sound, and I see water coming out of my power outlet.
Hmm.
And at this point, I walk outside, and I approach Devon. I'm like, Devon, we've got a situation, and at this point, Devon, you can continue the story because I'll fill in where it's appropriate, but I feel like you've got your own flavor to add to it. So why don't you continue, please?
Sure. Apparently, the apartment over our sleeping arrangement, its toilet overfloweth. And so all of that water was trailing down into Amir's house, his entire apartment. Thankfully, it wasn't like shit water. It was just toilet water, which isn't
Just water,
great,
water.
but
And I want to paint a picture of that, by the way, too, right? So we had somebody else that was living in the room, like one of my best friends. His name is Kimani. And Kimani is like, "Yo, Amir, is water coming out of your outlets too? Are you still alive and not electrocuted?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he goes upstairs, and he goes to go check on, my neighbor. His name is Keith. Like, we were all in the architecture program, so like we all kind of know each other. So from Kimani's point of view, and this is how I envisioned it, right? Like, Kimani tells me this. He goes upstairs, and as he's walking up the stairs, there's like a nice waterfall, basically, like accumulating at this point, like coming down the stairs. And Kimani's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" So, he knocks on Keith's door, and there's the sound of commotion going on back there. Like, you don't know if the freaking Jumanji board game was opened up or something, and they're just trying to like fend off some alligators, but there's something not normal going on behind this door, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Keith has a girlfriend, and she opens up the door, and she's in like a panic, and Kimani's like, "Where's Keith?" And she's like, "He's in the back." And like, there's water that's like a good, I'm gonna say 2 inches at least, like in the kitchen, all over the place in this dorm. And like, Kimani walks into the bathroom to try to find his friend. He's like, "Keith, Keith," and Keith is in the bathroom, and he's got his hand like covering a busted pipe, and the water's just hitting him in the face. It's just like, "Ah! Ah!" Just screaming. Kimani, Kimani is horrified. So I'm in my apartment. I'm waiting for the news, and Kimani comes back just like he's seen a ghost, and
Guy
he's
goes
like,
"Yo, it's bad up there, dog.
"It's bad, man.
It's bad, man. It's real bad.
The fish were in the walls, Isopodian Commonwealth. Yeah, so it
It
was
was
bad.
rough."
Yeah, but anyway, continue, Devon.
So I was
Go
like,
on.
"Guys, there's turmoil happening. It's mostly dripping in your rooms. We should have a slumber party." It's the only rational thing to do because you don't want to sleep in your room. You're going to get dripped on. But the living room was safe. It was sacred ground. So everyone could get their stuff. We could all just sleep on the floor in the living room and just tell scary stories all night. It was the perfect idea.
I was so annoyed that night.
You were annoyed with that idea?
Dude, I
who
was
hates a slumber party?
Go on, Devon.
Who hates a
Continue.
slumber party? A slumber party is like it's the most fun. We don't do that
Yeah,
enough
yeah.
anymore. As adults, you ask, "Hey, you want to go to a slumber party together?" And they're like, "What's wrong with you?" Slumber parties are so much fun. We don't do them anymore. Like
Fair
we
enough, yeah.
equate a cabin trip to. We get excited for cabin trips and like vacationing with other people because that's the closest we get as adults to true slumber parties. That's all we need is a slumber. Anyway,
Touche.
we did it. Everyone agreed. We signed the papers. The slumber party was happening. And so, yes, this or that agrees. Absolutely, we should have a slumber party. Not a weird slumber party, a good one. But all right, so I think Amir manned the couch because he was the. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Amir manned the couch. I slept on the floor, like right in front of the couch. So Amir was just like
Yeah.
adjacent to me, and I think Kimani took there was a reclining sofa, right, or reclining chair. I think he slept on
Kimani
that.
took he took the recliner. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was the only person slumming on the floor. I didn't live there, so I guess that makes sense. Anyway, we were just talking the whole time. We were joking and giggling and laughing. It was a great slumber party. It was so good. I didn't want it to end. I did not. And Amir's getting tired. I'm like, no. Let's keep talking. You remember this time? We're just sharing stories, and Amir's just like,
I had an
let's go to bed."
exam. Not only that, I had an exam the next day. I was like, "Yo,
I
guys,
had
this is
work.
okay." So go on. Yeah. I'm tired. I've got this exam, and you're
Amir's
over
tired,
here.
and
Yeah.
he's just like, I want to go to bed, and I'm just keep talking or making jokes or something. And he just can't go to sleep. And eventually, like, there was a moment of silence, however brief it may be.
This
And I
was
think
after.
the lights were off. It's like 2. It's like 2 8. No. At this point, it was closer to 4, wasn't it? I think it's at like 4 a.m.
Maybe. Go on.
I think
Yeah.
it's late. It is late, and I'm laying on the floor. I think a good maybe 45 seconds go
Don't know what
by
happened there.
of silence, and eventually I just take my pillow and hit the shit out of Amir's face in the dead of night. Like, you just heard. It was so powerful. I feel like Amir's head ricocheted from me.
Ew.
Yo, what?
Like
That is what you did. That is what you
unprovoked,
did.
just a
Like
smack at
like
4
a
a.m.
savage man who was just unfamiliar with civilization. Yeah. So
Amir
you
went
wake me
into
up.
a fit of rage.
Damn, I would too.
Like you think that like I'd imagine somebody's normal response would be you take that pillow or your pillow or anything and you start beating the absolute hell out of the person who just vexed you. But that wasn't Amir. Like all logic went out of Amir's head. He grabbed the pillow and he raised it over his head and he was ready to do damage, but he didn't. He just like and just starts slamming the pillow on himself and on the walls. He just starts swinging
Dude,
it
I didn't
wild,
hit
man.
myself. I hit everything but you.
You were hitting
I
your
said-
legs like
Was I?
yes, you were slamming, dude. You were so mad. It was blind fury. You were so mad.
Dude. Yeah.
What went
yeah.
through your head?
What? I don't even know what went through my head. I was, dude. It was 4 a.m. Okay. I think I didn't. Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I was upset, and I was just like, yo, I'm not gonna hit you. Okay. But what did I say to you next? I
You
forgot what I
said nothing. I swear you didn't say anything. It was just silence after that.
I think it was because Kimani was there and he saw or expected the whole thing. I think we all ended up laughing, and I said, "Okay," but
I
like,
know
for real-
Kimani was laughing his ass off over in that corner.
But I was like, "Okay, like, but seriously, guys, like, don't fuck with me again, please."
Okay.
And
I
so
think at
and
that
so,
point I receded. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, Amir needs to get some sleep. I have to work in like 3 hours, so
Right.
I should probably get something.
so yeah, so that happens, and you know, it's like at this point like 4:30 a.m. Okay, no, it's
Yeah.
gotta be like maybe at
What's
least
up,
like
family?
5:30. I'm gonna say, and
Thank you.
um, spread love to the family, for me too.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is that, you know, like I
Shout
go back
out
to
to the
sleep
family.
Mm-hmm.
for the family. I go back to sleep, and I'm gonna say a good 30 minutes in, right? Like I wake up to a knock on the door.
Dude, no, it wasn't 30. It was shortly after. Like we hadn't had time we hadn't had time to fall
wasn't
back
30?
asleep. Dude, it was like 5. It was like 5 to 10 minutes in. Like
Okay,
5 to
okay.
10 minutes after that fiat you threw, a knock at the door comes. And Amir, I could feel your eyes open. I could feel like the disgust. So you sat up, you open that door, and it's just like this small, like Hispanic gentleman, custodian guy's like, I'm here for the drip.
That's right.
He's like, yeah, sure, right this way. And he nods and he reaches behind him and he grabs this freaking contraption, this freaking
brings
space shuttle.
he bring Galvatron.
Yeah, dude. Galvatron
He brought
5000.
Galvatron into the house and into the dorm. I'm sorry, the apartment, whatever. And I didn't know, but this giant machine of a thing comes in, and he's like, "Okay, I'm going to start now." And I
He's
just nodded my head, not even knowing.
He didn't even
just like,
he didn't give us any warning. He just took it into your room. That thing could have cleansed both your floor and any
Your
evil
soul.
entity that was like made residence in that room. And so you just you laid back down. I'm pretty sure they closed the door to like be respectful. And like we just hear the loudest like a freaking air turbine turns on in Amir's room. It's the loudest thing just after all of this
It's just that.
savagery at 4 a.m. And I just sit up and look at Amir and I see
you just laughed like
I look at his
like a
face
weirdo.
and I'm just smiling.
It's like I hate you, man.
Amir's face was just so dead. His
I was
eyes,
dead inside.
his eyes were emotionless. His expression was just gone.
It was pain. It was nothing but I'm telling you, it was pain, and it was horrible.
And
That reason.
Kimani was just giggling over in that corner, dude.
You guys
Oh,
were the
man.
worst. Both of you were the worst that night. I couldn't forget. I couldn't forgive. And here I am.
I'm so sorry, Amir.
I forgive you. Now I forgive you.
I'm glad. You remember that one time I made you fall asleep in my car while we were driving back to campus, and then I got close to a truck that was hauling a truck, so it was facing us, and then I
Oh,
screamed at
yeah.
the top of my lungs.
We were coming back, like you. We were coming
That was a
back
great
from
story.
somewhere. Yeah, we were coming back from somewhere, and I was like, "Hey," and it was late. No. We were
Like it wasn't even that late. It was like 9. It was 9 p.m.
But there was something that happened the night before. I
Let me
can't.
know when you
I'm not
guys
even going
are
to try to recall.
Interested in a new topic. I know you guys are like
All right.
sharing stories,
Let's-
but I have
let's-
no
Yeah,
concept.
yeah,
Let's
sure.
hop to a new topic. Let's hop to a new topic.
I can't
We've been
contribute to the
reminiscing too
stories.
far.
I wasn't there, so
No,
Yes.
no, totally fine, totally
Amir,
fine.
I have
I
nothing
want
to
to
talk
hear
about.
stories of you and Yak.
No, I was gonna ask something to both of you instead, like
Okay.
Okay. How about this? Sorry, Mike. I was just going to say I'm going to step away for 1 second. My
Okay.
laptop battery needs life.
You can
So if you wanna-
fart. You can just say that's what you're stepping away for.
Or I mean, there's that,
Yeah.
which, you know. But yeah,
That can be a
I'm gonna show
reason.
the proof.
You can be honest with us. It's cool. We're family.
It's okay.
Or
Yeah. Do it for the
Family's
family.
here.
For the family.
I
Yeah,
think we
yeah.
might have talked about this last time, but I want to know you guys' thoughts on AI art and stuff. Now that it's like been a
Yeah, yeah.
while, I feel like the dust has settled on what everyone thinks it is or what it's gonna be or the fears and stuff. It feels like the dust has
Mhm.
settled somewhat. So, yeah, I think Devon, you might have said something about it regarding voice acting, but I'm curious just now that it's been out for a while. Like I feel like 2 years ago when it kind of came out, everyone was like, "Oh my god, dude! Like this is there was so much more unknown and thus so much more fear." But now that
Yeah.
it has kind of settled in a sense where the art AI art generators are out there, they've been out there.
Mm.
Do you guys feel the same? Do you guys feel a little bit more settled? What are your thoughts on it in general? Like, is there still some, what are your thoughts about the future of it, all that stuff? Curious.
Great question. Yeah, no, I love that. Devon, I'm gonna let you take it away. I'm gonna jump
Oh,
back
thanks
in
for
in a
that
second,
permission.
guys. Yeah, you're welcome.
Gonna let you.
Yeah, he does that.
I
a lot.
give you permission.
I
No,
appreciate it.
I'll be right back, and
Alright.
I'll jump back in a second, Mike. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So I think what I said previously still applies here. I enjoy making AI art for absolutely mundane things that typically do not see the light of day outside of a small group. Like we think of something funny and we're like, oh, could you imagine seeing that? And then we make that thing a reality, and just so we could all have a laugh in the moment. Outside of that, we don't really mess with AI art, especially when it comes to like big production level stuff. I know that I don't hear about the scare as often as it used to because,
Mhm.
like you said, it was new. But I don't think that the scare of AI art it doesn't exist anymore. I think it's still prevalent. Maybe our attention is drawn elsewhere because of other advancements that AI have been made. But to like what you said, because AI is slowly getting more and more integrated with our day-to-day lives, it's like we just stop noticing some of what I would consider crimes are occurring like right under our noses. Like for example, people who are making like advertisements for something, they can just generate a full like set based on an AI prompt
Mhm.
to say, hey, this is the background, this is the image, and it'll just make it, and they can take that and put that in their PowerPoint presentation. They can put that like as a part of their internal training, something that would have been a job for somebody, like that someone that has made their livelihood on making something that kind of content now does not do that anymore because AI can do it for them.
I think
So
I think we
the
see
bad
like
things are still
AI
happening. We're
artwork.
just not talking about it.
Yeah, like I think we've seen AI art used in like advertisements, and I don't think people are like
Yes.
either they don't care or they're just like they call it out, and then this kind of I don't know. It seems to kind of hurt people when they try to use it for like advertisements and stuff. It seems to hurt brands or whoever because it just looks bad. Like it's not polished. It's not. It's like there's glitches and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like if you look close enough, you can.
Yeah, like I
You,
think
you don't
that
even have to look that close either.
I think when I see AI artwork, personally, I've seen ads for it, like just straight up ads for like the most regular like products out there, and when I see it, I'm just like, oh, they don't care about their brand and their perception of their
Yes.
brand to their audience. I think that those that do are still putting in like a ton of money. I think it just kind of like it's almost like exposed the people that were cheap about their advertising and branding budgets more because you can see
Mm.
them just blatantly using AI and it like, has all the glitches and it's not been cleaned up or nothing like that. Like multiple fingers, like weird, like just noise and stuff, and you see that and you're just kind of like AI art now has a look like as much
It
as
does.
it's very obvious. Like you can almost tell, especially when it's not done by a person that's like creative. There's no director
Mm-hmm.
behind it. It's just like, let's put this image out there. It's bright, it's flashy, and it just looks cheap.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I mean,
What else did I
do
miss?
you notice like people? Do you feel yourselves, or do you notice other artists like still being as like scared of it in that way where it was almost like when it first came out, the people were so afraid of it. Like artists were like,
Mm.
"This is the end." Like everyone, there was like boycott. There's like sign here, like petition this,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
there was all this like talk about like now like basically people were speculating that they were gonna start losing clients, that they were gonna have to like look for a new profession, like this like very almost like almost like fear mongering in a sense of just like you better be ready if you're messing with it, like you're basically the opposite of like an artist. Like there is so much like strong emotion around it, and
Mm.
it
Mm.
kind of like I feel like has settled into its place now in the industry where it doesn't feel as threatening, but maybe because I'm just like not as closely paying attention to it. I don't know. What do
Mm.
you guys feel? Like, does it still feel as threatening as it did when it first came out, and we really didn't know how it worked, or where it was headed?
I think, for me specifically, there is a look. Everything that you said, Mike, is, I totally agree with 100%. You can spot out AI art pretty quickly, and there is a certain kind of cheapness factor with that. How can I say ancillary request of like, hey, make this, sci-fi landscape or whatever, and you just get this like weird thing with a bunch of glitches in it.
Yeah.
Going back to your question, I personally, as an artist, speaking from the artist perspective and not speaking from the designer perspective, as an artist, I'm not so worried about today's AI. I'm worried about some of the legislative, and when I say legislative, I'm saying that loosely, but when you take a look at these big name giants like Adobe, or even, like your Figmas, but I'll keep it in the art world, Adobe, they're allowed to use your work if you like don't tweak your settings and whatever to train their AI learning models. There are other things too, like you've got your metas and your things of that nature, that have very loose verbiage around like what is allowed to train their learning models, um, and it kind of crosses this territory that gets kind of muddy quickly about what is plagiarism and what's not. And I think for that purpose, when it comes to the arts, that's my main concern with it. Just that we don't have the laws in place to really kind of prevent that from uh, continuing. Despite the fact that like things look pretty, I don't know, like you can spot out AI art today really well. It might have like six fingers or something weird. I don't think it's always going to be that way.
What do you
That's my
think? What do you think? Like, I mean, what do you think Adobe or Facebook or whatever? What do you think their goals are with AI and AI art generation? Like, what do you like? If
Um,
imagine you're them, like, what is your
sure.
their goal?
What's my
Isn't like
answer?
I would just I just want to give it a little bit more on it. Like, Adobe's goal isn't to
Hmm.
get rid of artists or to replace artists because artists use their
No.
tools.
Yeah, yeah,
So
for sure.
like, what do you think? Like, when you speculate about like what you just said, like Meta
Mhm.
or Adobe using AI in a way that can like hurt or be bad for artists. What do you
Mhm.
think their goal? Why do you think they're attracted to AI, and why do you think they want to use it on their
Yeah, yeah.
products?
Essentially, what you're asking is, like, what is the benefit from any of this, hypothetically, if this were the case? My answer would be this. When it comes down to, and Meta and Adobe, are two different companies. Obviously, they've got their own different agendas. But for a Meta, right, profit. Ultimately, it comes down to, like, how can I use something to expand my service model, expand my product model, for
Yeah,
instance.
like, and who is
And
there? Like, who do they? What? How do they make money? I guess.
yeah, sure. If we're talking about let's just say, that could be anything, advertisements, presentations. Let's just talk about like the internal mechanisms required to work at Facebook to make money internally at Facebook. So if you need artwork done, for instance, concept art or just some caricature or whatever it is for some campaign that you're running as Facebook, you need to hire artists like you or maybe some other people or things of that nature. That's all money that's coming out of their pocket. What if you could reduce that cost by 75%, on an annual basis? That's kind of like the way how I would look at it.
That's how you're
So,
seeing. That's how you're seeing Facebook use AI.
not just Facebook, but just from a capitalistic perspective, kind of across the board. Since we're talking about like the artistic or like AI art per se, then yeah, in terms of going back to the question, why would a Facebook care to explore, like some sort of means to, I don't know, like have your art or have other people's art train learning models for them? Yeah, it would be for, just cutting cost to still achieve the same result, air quotes, but for less,
Can
I
I
would
give
say.
an
It's kind of,
alternate like take on
sure,
this?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that Adobe, I can lump Adobe probably in with Meta on this one. I think that
Mm,
Adobe and Meta, they make their money from their users, like the people that use their platforms.
sure,
So
sure.
when they look at AI, I mean, when they look at AI art tools or
Mm,
AI anything, like whatever I mean, for Adobe, they're like an art software company, so they want to make like
mm,
they want to have AI be like an art tool and a feature, a reason for people to use their or to pay for their services, because that's where they
sure.
make all their money. And for Facebook, they're not necessarily an art company, but they are just like they're a social media company. So they're what they want is instead of saving, you're kind of I feel like your approach is like these companies want to save money by using AI artwork to like replace work. I don't think that they want to save money. I think they just want to make more money. So they're
Yeah,
looking at how do we everybody's talking about this AI art thing. Everyone is interested in it. How do we also get a piece of that like action? How do we also implement AI, whatever that may look like on our side? How do we have an AI thing so that we can stay relevant and so that we can make our platform more engaging and like more make users want to use it instead of use the competitor or whatever. So they're
mm,
just gonna they're implementing like AI art as like a gimmick almost, not really as a use this tool to replace artists and all this kind of stuff. More just like use this tool, kind of like what Devon does, like use it to make memes. Use it
mm,
for Facebook. They're like, we want people to stay on our platform. We want people to use AI as a way to stay on our platform. So
mm.
let's integrate it into chat. Let's integrate it into like posts so that people can use our platform more for better or worse and use AI to keep them here instead of going to like
Sure.
another competitor or something.
Mhm.
Yeah. I would raise the rhetorical question, why not both?
Why not both what?
Why not do both as a
He's
business?
saying that it's a little bit of yours and a little bit of his.
Yeah.
So
reasonings.
yours is, well, I feel like yours is focused specifically on the production side of like using AI to like help with production. I think they're not gonna change. I think they're just gonna like I feel like they probably see more value in it as a quick and easy way. Like they don't have to make their AI tools good. They just have to make them good enough to compete with like whatever other people are offering. And so they can put in like a little bit of work and then act like they got this new fancy thing, which they probably had. They just didn't really, it just wasn't like valuable until now. And like if you look
Yeah.
at Instagram, the way they're using AI is to like give you a chat bot, and like there's all this stuff that like it doesn't feel like it's a threat to artists as much as it's just bloatware at this point.
I think.
I mean,
Yeah. Sorry, Devon. You were about to say something.
I think there are certain levels of AI that I think one other approach that people have used AI for is to make those who are less skilled in a certain aspect have more access to that skill without requiring a background, whether that be having a creative writing degree, whether that be doing voice acting work, or creating art itself. Adding AI to this functionality will make it so that things that you couldn't do previously without researching and getting your hands dirty are now able to be accessed at the click of a button. Like with Adobe, if they're trying to learn from some of either your art or anything that you might be doing in Premiere, if they know what's going on there, they will be able to make a simple either command or button that will let you do this cool thing that everybody else is doing as well, without you having to learn the steps to do it yourself. It won't have the same polish, but by having that feature there, they will be able to draw in more users. I don't think that they're going to like keep old users, because a lot of old users are going to already know how to do that, or maybe they might be intrigued that this new feature is added because they weren't doing it previously. But it is, at the end of the day, making more tools that weren't accessible to some people now more easily accessible. But by doing so, they also belittle the what was fed into the algorithm to make that tool.
They belittle what was fed into the algorithm to make that tool.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
I get
confused
it.
by that. But I think that like, do you guys use Adobe products?
Premiere Pro.
You know
So
my answer to that. Yeah.
so like Premiere and like basically Adobe's version of them integrating AI into their software is like generative fill. It's like auto detecting things, like
Yeah.
all of those AI enhanced things, which they probably honestly had those features already. They just calling them AI now because it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
makes them relevant. So it's like Adobe like and Facebook and all of them, they look at your data, of course, because they're like, hey, if I have to enhance this thing, this image, I need to look at it I guess for me to know what I'm enhancing, or for me to know what I'm like swapping or whatever. So I think there's like, I feel like, I just feel like generally the fear, and maybe we're forgetting, but if there was a lot of fear around artists specifically being replaced with AI, like actually, like people were talking about it like as if it was going to happen, and almost like with so much conviction that as if it was actually happening. And
Yeah.
the larger problem was that they were just stealing artists' works and styles without permission. And now large companies like YouTube are finding out like that, you know, ChatGPT, whatever, studied on YouTube videos, and they really have nothing to say about that. All they can be is like, well, we're just gonna do the same to our videos and like change our terms of service, all this kind of stuff, and then it'll be okay because we're gonna do it too. So I think like the biggest corporations that got affected by their stuff being stolen, like that, it basically already happened. It like happened, and now it's kind of like, now who's gonna fight and who's gonna care? But I think like where we are, my point ultimately is that, are artists still scared that they're not gonna be getting hired anymore? Like, it's been long enough, I feel like, where there should be like true documented cases, and I mean I'm just not hearing about them if there are,
Yeah.
where artists are being literally fired in replace of AI, and
Yeah.
like them not able to finding another, being able to find another job or something like that. Like,
Right. Right.
you
I get
know,
what you're saying.
is that
Yeah. Yeah.
happening, or was that, or were artists being like overly like ignorant and like overly dramatic to these tools that they really didn't understand?
I
Like,
think
I don't know.
Depends on the artist too, right? What kind of artist
Yeah,
are you?
yeah. Right.
Like
Like
web
it's
developers rip a lot of those.
A lot of web
yeah.
developers don't have jobs anymore. Like they couldn't find work.
Well, a lot of tools like Wix and Squarespace have a lot of AI integrations that kind of you can basically type out what kind of website you want and it'll
But
start
Wix
generating
but
things.
those websites existed before AI. So there was already an ease of creating a website before AI. Like I don't know if
Sure.
you can
Yes.
Sure.
attribute that to AI specifically.
Yeah. It's maybe I could shed some light on it. Just being a UX designer. Like even that right there is really different than being a concept artist, right? Like those are two different industries. They're both creative, where AI is affecting them totally differently. I think that your average concept artist, despite all of the, I'll just say like icky things that, some learning models or a lot of learning models are doing, from an AI perspective with concept art, I don't think that, concept artists need to be afraid today about like, oh no, like my job's going to disappear like tomorrow or today, because of AI. It's a little different. AI today is good at doing some things and it's bad at doing other things. It's bad at paying attention to detail like we were talking about before with like, oh, like does this hand have 5 fingers or 15? Um, and that's something that a human is just going to understand better, right? If we're talking about for reproducing certain systems and models and anything that's just like, you know, uh, more engineering focused, I guess you can say, like for UX design, then you run into different issues where, yeah, like you've got UX designers who aren't necessarily being replaced by AI outright today, but it's this hype and sensation around the fact where you can go into Figma and you can ask AI to generate an app for you. I'm not even sure if this feature is rolled out today. I saw a prototype for it, and it will make a 16-page interaction design that's wireframed, perhaps. You can even generate some images with it, potentially with like different plugins as well too, to the point in which on the surface, you're doing a job that a UX designer is doing without the UX designer. You're putting in inputs. And that in itself is threatening in its own ways, but it's not the same type of threat for every single artist
It's not as
across
like
the board. I would
it's
say it
not as like
depends. Yeah.
would I mean does it like I guess can you like do you think that it's just not as like scary or has not become as like detrimental to the art industry as everyone like was kind of saying it was going to be? Like is that fair to say?
I think so.
Like it's been
I
like
think
two
I think
three
that's fair
years
to
now.
say,
It's been
but
like was it 2019 when Midjourney came out or something, like 4 years ago? Like
yeah, yeah.
Midjourney's
But and yeah, I
not
think it's
replacing artists. I don't think. Like it costs money. Like it still costs money. It's still, if anything, it's more expensive now.
mm,
If anything, it's more technical now. So like
yeah,
your average person probably, even I don't really even know how to control it. And like I'm an artist. Um,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Like I've tried using AI artwork and like generating stuff, and I will sometimes be more frustrated than I'm just like I'm just gonna draw it. I'm just gonna draw it. I'm just gonna paint it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
faster. It's gonna be way more accurate and way more exactly what I want. Like it's already hard to put what you're imagining onto paper. Imagine trying to put what your client's thinking. It's already hard. I mean, like to take what your client is thinking or saying, telling you, and you're human. You understand nuance. You understand like hidden signals and all this stuff, and putting that into paper, and now like I feel like clients or those clients are trying to generate it and they can't even control the
Do it.
program. I don't know.
I
Just it
think
Yeah.
doesn't seem like
uh,
I guess ultimately just doesn't feel like it has not been that bad for the I'm not like I don't know. It feels like I'm trying to like defend it, but I just don't think it's that scary. I don't think it's as scary as it
I don't think
seemed
you're
in the
trying to
beginning.
defend it. You're just arguing to think of it more objectively, which I think is accurate. And I think it's also folly to try and lump all of AI, whether it be art or whatever, into one specific type of market, be it like Facebook or Google or anything like that, because it could also affect smaller, maybe more budding artists who do a lot of commissions for like Twitch streams or just basic fan art for some people, because people are much less likely to pay someone for fan art if they can generate it, and these people don't have much money to begin with, right? The clientele that they might work with, if they work with a high volume of people with a low budget, that might have been cut off as a result. So there's not to say that that's like a huge case, but that is vastly different from what we'd see from huge multi-billion-dollar companies.
I think that if
So
I was hiring somebody to make fan art of something for me, I would rather pay them slightly less and have them use the AI artwork and help themselves and get me my idea faster, rather than me go try to use it, not know which subscription I gotta pay for, not know what prompts to use. Like, I feel like I'd still rather go to an artist and then at least ask them to use AI art to make the cost cheaper rather than do it myself. Because now
that's fair.
there's I think like the AI art industry or whatever has hurt itself by becoming so big. Now there's a million tools. There's all different ones that specialize in different things. There's like so many more tools to use. You know, to the average consumer or to the average non-art person, it's almost like bewildering to be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go back to hiring an artist, because now just navigating the AI art generation landscape, like, it's a whole thing that I don't want to waste my time on or spend time on or learn. Like, I might as well learn how to draw and then just draw my own crappy fan art rather than like try to, you know what I mean? Like, it's hurting itself by spreading
Yeah, yeah.
out too thin. So it's almost like hurting itself because like the whole capitalist thing, they all want to make money so badly that they're just oversaturating the hell out of the market with like AI tools, and they just
Yeah,
end up hurting
I
themselves
agree.
more than anything.
Yeah, like I think we're going to, and I agree with all of that. I think that we're going to see several phases of evolution with AI. I think that we can all agree to that. Right now, we're looking at something that's still very early. It's been 4 years, right? Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I say four, maybe three, maybe, who knows? All these tools have been in development since the origin of, if then else statements, right? Um, but despite that, there's still a lot of room for growth. AI is not at it's not its perfect form, I guess you can say.
But
So,
doesn't that just like feed back into the fear of it? Like, we don't know how strong it's gonna get, therefore we should still be
I don't
afraid of
think,
it. Versus like,
I don't think, yeah, yeah,
I mean, it just
yeah.
feels like
Sorry.
you're kind of like, okay, like when it first comes out, everyone's scared of it.
Mm,
Everyone's running around scared of it. This is the end. Like, get ready. And then like kind of like
mm,
nothing happens, and then it's like, okay, instead of just being like, all right, nothing happened. It kind of just became a stupid gimmick for people to make memes
mm,
with. No like big Fortune 500 companies really using it in a way that's like scary. They're more using it as a way to just like keep users on their platform in whatever cheap way
mm,
they can. And now instead of just as an artist being like, yeah, I guess it didn't, rob me of my work,
mm.
instead of kind of saying that and then like taking it, like reading it like with more nuance, it's like,
Yeah.
no, it just hasn't peaked yet. Now it's gonna peak soon. It's kind of like the doomer
Mm.
that is like saying the world's gonna end. It's like, okay, the world's gonna end on this day, and then it doesn't. It's like, actually, actually it's gonna end next year. Like, you know what I mean? It just feels like that. Like, it's like almost
Not, yeah,
keep
yeah.
artists
And
afraid of AI almost. Like, that's almost like that's what it feels like, instead of just being like, you know what? I think it's not that scary, and I don't think it's gonna be that bad. And also, by the time it reaches
mm,
whatever state, it might just evolve into something totally different. And I think it's
mm.
gonna be okay. You know what I mean?
I don't think, and like I would disagree a little bit, not with you like directly. It's just more so of maybe the intent behind what I'm saying. It's not to create a fear doomer or pessimistic type of logic around anything, or even just to like keep riding a train, if anything, of like fear mongering. It's just a state of fact. Like whatever it becomes, like AI still has ways to go. I say that as somebody who's coming from a background working with just like scripting, logic, things of that nature. Like all of us have some experience in, and despite that, it's one thing to kind of nebulously say like, oh, like I don't know what the future is, so you know, uh, it could be bad. That's not the message that I want to give off when I'm talking about it. It's more so the fact that the reason why it has room to grow is also just kind of like an objective fact too, with regard to the infancy of it, the fact that it hasn't consumed all the data that it's going to as it continues to grow. Like we've really created a very phenomenal and interesting technology with AI as a concept, and it's a very huge umbrella, right? This isn't just talking about like just the artists
But that's
or
what
just the
I want to
creatives
focus
like
on.
us.
I mean, I think it's just gonna be a very
Mm.
like, it's like I'm not sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, but I just want to like focus on the AI art portion because that's what that world we know very well, or at least we both know
Right.
that world very well. The AI as a selling point, as a product, that's definitely that can reach into so many different industries, and I just don't know enough about them to like make any good like points or add anything. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't want to go too into the weeds of like, or go zoom out too far, like look at AI everything, because then
Mm.
it can be like, well, in this industry it's really good, in this industry it's really bad. Like that can,
Yeah.
it's a lot more like harder to kind of like pinpoint. But I think just specifically in the, because that's the artist
Mhm.
industry we're in, and that's the industry where you heard where when it started in AI art. Now that AI, those AI algorithms have evolved into larger things that do other things besides art. Art was almost just like a pit stop. It wasn't like the destination for AI
Mm.
like tools. Um, and now, like again, like if you look at how companies actually are using AI art, it's just a shitty like meme generator. It's not really, they're not advertising it as like, hey, replace artists, save money. It's like, make silly jokes and send them to your friends. Like, please use our chat messenger. Like, that's really it.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
just,
I saw a
I'm trying to
I
video.
don't
do
know.
some research too, and I'm not
Yeah.
seeing any hard evidence of major job loss based on art
Artists.
generation
Yeah.
Dude,
specifically.
people have been like last year, so many people got fired from the game industry. I don't think it had to do with AI art. It had to do with just like
Mm.
shitty management and like all the classic shit, all the classic
Well,
reasons people get
like
fired, like
I think
overestimating, not meeting expectations, like burning people out, like all that stuff had like that impacted whatever happened last year in the game industry that made a bunch of people get fired, or that got people a bunch of people get fired. It never, you never heard the term like, oh, it was because AI art. And yet the way that happened, you would have thought it would have been because of AI, the way people were talking about it when it first came out.
I don't.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, I
one, the
think.
tech
Sorry.
industry last
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
blew up. They overhired basically, and this
From
wasn't
COVID
just
and
in
stuff.
gaming. This is in like it was because of
Every
COVID.
tech industry.
And
Yeah.
so as a result, they're like, "Oh shit, we hired too much. We had to fire." That's a
Yeah,
separate thing. But another thing, this isn't. I don't want to spend too much time on that topic because, like you said, you want to talk specifically about AI art. But in the tech industry, the people do use AI.
Yeah.
AI is very expensive. And for how expensive it is, I don't think it's as useful as people make it out to be. But because
Mhm.
how expensive AI is, they have to make budget cuts somewhere. And the easiest way to make budget cuts is to fire some of your staff. So, in a way, AI is eliminating some staff, not because it's more efficient, but because it's more expensive.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
more like a cost thing, like a
Yes.
mismanagement of
Yeah.
costs or
Yeah.
budgets, not really AI
Right.
So,
is
yeah, you can say that
replacing
was because of the
people.
manager's choices, technically.
Yeah.
And like, and if
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
wasn't
No, I would
AI,
say.
it would have been some other new hot thing that they would have adopted and like tried to force into their like company or something. Like, oh, now we're using this. And it's like NFTs, like crypto, whatever, like whatever random ass thing that is hot and that will make people, that you think as a business owner will make people care about your business or the thing you're selling. You're gonna like adopt that into your thing, whether it's gonna be work out for you or not. Like, you don't care.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
found it
yeah,
interesting that the phrase machine learning disappeared as soon as AI started to be
Yeah,
more
dude, that's
prominent.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like that
yeah.
stuff existed. They just
Hmm.
called it something else. That's why like
Yeah.
Right,
it seems
exactly.
like the AI stuff is everywhere and people are already sick and tired of hearing about it. But really it was just machine learning. Like Google had that stuff in their phones, Apple had it in their phones. Like they're just calling it something
Yeah,
else. It's not really here
yeah,
in the
and
way that
that's
people are afraid
also
that it is.
right. And in the same way that I was talking about it earlier, saying that's not in its perfect form or anything like that, like that's literally what I'm talking about to say that machine learning has been here for AI is machine learning, right? Like, let's just all agree that that is what it is. It's a more evolved form of machine learning, but it's literally based on the same exact principles that machine learning is based off of. That's nothing that's like super new within our. I mean, as a human species, like yeah, but you get it. Like it's been around for years. Um, but yeah, going back to what you were talking about, Mike, um, a lot of it kind of boils down to more like capitalistic, economic issues that exist that might be separate perhaps from AI itself, where it stands today. Um, but yeah, like maybe I just look at it from a perspective of looking at every single, trying to understand every single moving part that's affecting, um, like the theoretical problem or the theoretical challenge that people are talking about. Like I was going to use myself as an example. So, I currently am not working for a corporate job or a government job or anything of that nature. I could say that AI has contributed to my lack of having a job with one of those institutions right now. I would very confidently say that. I wouldn't say it for the mainstream reason that people are talking about it with. I wouldn't say, oh, AI replaced, my job. It's doing exact. No, I wouldn't say that at all. What I would say is that AI is making certain processes a lot easier, sending out tons of applications to places without you actually having to write the application yourself, autogen this, autogen that. And there are consequences with that, like cheaper quality, whatever it is, all the stuff that we were talking about. But all that's like outside of the, like just artistic bubble of how AI is affecting it. I'm not going to get into too much detail about that, but that's where my mind goes to when I think about AI and how it's affecting those things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it seems like it just feels like artists were hurting themselves and hurting each other with the
Hmm.
fear that was like spreading that AI was gonna like replace us and it's gonna kill like the industry and everyone
Mm-hmm.
sucks and if you use AI on any level you're like a traitor or something like that. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
now it has
Yeah.
really like solidified itself as like this is either a gimmick for people to stay on the platform or this is like a genuine tool that has like some very niche use in a very niche like setting
Mm-hmm.
like VFX compositing or something or some
Yeah.
other like tedious ass task that people don't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it.
That mindset of if you're not an ally, you're an enemy is kind of counterintuitive, but it's very real, especially in the AI industry.
Yeah. I agree too, for sure. I think that people in general, and this is just my opinion on it, but in general in life, like it's really good to look at things like AI or, just complex topics from a complex lens, if that makes any sense. Not for the sake of trying to be complex, but just because not everything is black and white. So there could be truth to what's being talked about. There could be over exaggeration, inflation about
Dude,
ideas, things of that nature.
like the
Yeah.
thing that I think hurt AI art generation platforms the most and like just hurt AI in general the most was its commercialization. You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
if AI
Yeah.
art
Yeah.
tools
Yeah.
came out and they were free, then I could see that being like a threat for real because it's free. Like it costs. It's like you can almost like it's like beneficial to use it and makes you money. It's free,
Mhm.
but if it was like, but because Midjourney and all these other really good ones, ChatGPT, they started like charging and selling commercially and all this kind of stuff, like enterprise costs and all this stuff. Now it's
Mhm.
like people are probably rushing to it less quickly, and they're kind of just looking at it
Yeah.
as like, you know, they're just kind of like, oh, this is just another thing that costs money, we're just gonna keep our artists and like that, or like
Hmm.
it just makes it less accessible to most people. Like I really don't know a lot of people that are using AI art super heavily and like
Mhm.
making money off of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah. You know, did you guys hear about this? Is actually on that topic, Mike, but there was there was a Pokemon trading card competition, where there was like an art competition for like whose digital art is going to be featured on this next Pokemon card, in this cool deck or whatever it is. And the winner of the competition actually used AI art to generate this Pikachu. And
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
It's funny.
And so, like the Pikachu, like, looked like pretty sweet. It's like, oh, like that's awesome. But you look at the hands and you look at some of the other details and you're like, wait, why does he have 15 fingers? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think commercialization definitely has, like hurt, the cause, so to speak, however correct or incorrect that cause may be, for how people are using AI in that kind of corporate whatever type of way. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting paradigm. I think that maybe I'm going on a different topic, but I think that the use of AI art as your own intellectual property without like any modifications to it. Now that's a territory where I'm like, yeah, I don't feel good about that
And I think
as an
like
artist.
I think AI tools originally doing that and kind of getting away with it now as we see it. Um, and now they're getting in trouble for it. That makes the
Mm,
users of those tools also be like, well, I don't want to get in trouble. Like the tool I'm using is getting in trouble because they stole whatever art or like licensed things. Well, I'm afraid to use
yeah,
them because what if I get sued for using, their like suite of tools. So it's just kind of like if I'm advertising like my service, like, hey, hire me as an artist, I'm being currently sued for like, copywriting, like putting a bunch of copyrighted artwork for sale or whatever. Like you're not going to want to
yeah,
buy
yeah,
from me. So like
sure,
I think especially where the money is for a lot of these things, like which is like enterprise, those companies, they're
mhm,
not gonna play with that. Like, hey, like
yeah,
this could get us in hot water. Like we don't want that. So
right, right,
I think with the way that AI R2's released and the way that they advertise themselves and all that stuff has just like hurt them more than like helped
yeah,
them. Now like they're not as trustworthy. Now they're like potentially a risk, like a legal risk to use them. And also, yeah, it doesn't
yeah,
it they kind of screwed themselves by kind of going the way they did. And
yeah,
again, kind of going back to like, is it as scary as everyone made it seem? Is it as like destroying people's lives as it
hmm,
as it seemed like it was gonna? Like I don't think so.
right,
And I
right,
don't, it doesn't feel like that's like controversial to say that. Like I just don't think
yeah,
it's
No, and I
as
don't I don't
yeah, yeah,
think like it's kind of obvious as well that it wasn't going to be as bad as hype made it out to be. And
mhm,
that's basic fear mongering, really.
yeah, and like
mhm,
overhyping a product means you want to sell it. Like false
Yeah.
advertising. That's like almost all the AI art tools, like or AI anything, were like overhyping themselves and then therefore scaring people. But in reality, they were just like not as smart or were not as capable. But they were.
yeah,
It's like they AI art tool came out or AI tool came out, overhypes itself, oversells itself. The regular people believe it because they're scared of something like this actually happening. That furthers their credibility as like it's really this powerful. They get a ton of
yeah, yeah,
money from investors and all these people. They're like, oh, this is real. This is like AI. This is real. And then
mm,
because of the scariness, like all of the people running around like scared of it, they just made them more money because they legitimized them even more. And now it's kind of like coming out like, oh, these tools are not actually ready. They don't actually have these
yeah, yeah,
capabilities. They really are just a copy of this thing, and it's all kind of like falling apart. I think people being
Right.
scared of AI and like screaming from the rooftops like it's this big thing that's gonna scare everybody was like led them to have a bunch of people
Their
invest in
success.
them, and then like now it's kind of leading to all the smoke kind of coming out and being like, oh yeah, like why were we so scared of it? Of course they're gonna let us get scared of it because that means that more people believe them and more people will give them money, you know. Like they weren't
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
stoke, they weren't gonna like put water on that fire. They were gonna be like, yeah, we can do all that, yeah, and then give us money and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and then buy us and all this kind of stuff. And
Right,
now it's
right.
kind of like, oh, they actually can't do any of that shit. And
You've seen the meme, Mike, where what is it? It's like it's a Scooby Doo meme, and Freddy is like unmasking somebody, and he's unmasking AI, and it's like, oh look, like it was if then else statements all along.
yeah,
It's basically kind of what you're talking about. Um, and yeah, like I totally agree. I think I just try to be careful with, and this is just me, but I try to be careful with how I use the terminology. Like I try to be very specific about AI for which industry. Like if I use AI as like a general term, normally I'm talking about it from like the conceptual level, like the highest level of like what AI can do in theory and where
hmm
things are currently going today. But that's not necessarily the same exact, you know,
that's why like
AI. Yeah.
that's why I'm just hesitant to like even entertain that because it's
Mhm,
like moving the goalposts of like what we should be afraid of. Like at
mhm,
first it
mhm,
was like AI is gonna ruin everything, and like now 4 years later it kind of didn't, and now we're like,
mhm,
all right, well it's not ready. Like then you just kind of we
mhm,
can't just sit and be like, all right, I guess it's not that bad. It's like
mhm,
this
mhm,
weird like fear pessimism kind of thing of like it's getting stronger secretly. Like I feel like
mhm,
it's just like a mindset that is very like spiraling because
mhm,
you're just always going to believe that your industry and your job is in danger, and then like you can't like operate, it's like hard to like operate. It's just like, oh like
mhm.
if it's not, if suddenly AI, the whole AI industry collapses in on itself, it's going to be like, oh, there's going to be something else that comes out, just wait. Yeah, and it's just like, okay, it's a very like, again, doomer mentality of like, you know
Mhm.
like it didn't
Yeah, yeah.
happen.
It sounds like this topic is weighing on you pretty heavy. Is there any particular reason why it's come up recently?
It's not weighing on me. I'm recognizing like how AI now is being advertised and how it's being sold to us, and it's not at all in this like scary ass way that like I think artists just kind of like that whole like crabs in a bucket thing. They tear each
Mhm.
other down, and like AI art, some artists are using it and helping themselves and making their lives easier, and
And they're damning the
yeah, and
people
like
who are
other, and
using
then they're
AI.
losing like, and people are like, no,
Mhm.
like you're doing it wrong, and it's just like, ugh, like I don't
Are
know.
you seeing
There's like
this?
this constant
Have you been
fear.
seeing this more recently, or it's just?
I know I've stopped seeing it. Like I've stopped seeing all the fear of AI art.
Oh,
That's what I'm
okay,
saying. Like I've stopped seeing that.
Mhm,
okay.
mhm.
Now people are
Yeah, yeah.
openly using AI art tools, and no one cares.
Mhm.
Or there's just like
Mm.
Yeah.
there's less care about it. Or even AI art companies are like advertising themselves as artist friendly or for artists. Like Adobe has integrated
Mhm.
AI art tools into their stuff pretty well, and people actually are like, it's actually kind of cool. Like I'm actually not scared of it. It actually makes my job a little bit easier. And like it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe this like, I can see it being like corporations are bad, like we're supposed to hate them, but like they don't want to not have users use their stuff. That's where they make all their money. So you just kind of have to
Mhm.
like step back and look at it, be like, okay, Adobe doesn't want to replace artists because then who's going to use their programs? They want to
Yeah,
give
yeah.
them more reasons to. They want to sell. They want to increase the cost, which they're doing. They want to increase their prices, and then they want to give you more reason to buy it. Kind of like a really beautiful skin in a video game. You're like, damn it, I wasn't gonna put any money into this free to play game, but now I really want to buy that skin because it looks awesome. It's like that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, what other thing? It's gonna be AI. It's gonna be NFTs. It's gonna be whatever. What new thing can they put into their service that makes you want to spend money on it, or make somebody who was like not really gonna spend money on it, but now they added this new thing, and now they definitely gonna like. how many people can they tip over that edge to like sign up for a subscription to like stay subscribed? Like I was gonna unsubscribe, but generative fill is so good. I think I'm gonna keep subscribing. Like that's what they want, you know?
Yeah.
That's what they want, and they're getting that from so many people because I tried to cancel my Adobe subscription. I just kept Photoshop. The generative fill thing works good. I mean, it doesn't work perfectly, but that's not the only reason I kept it. But I was like on the edge of getting rid of it, and then they added that and a bunch of other stuff, and I'm like, all right, I'll keep it a little bit longer. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I just think that's kind of the reality that we are currently living. That's where AI art tools have settled into. Now they're just a new way for companies to make money, but they're not like replacing and destroying the art industry the way that like a lot of artists were like screaming like that it was gonna.
I wouldn't say that this is where it's settled into. I think this is just another bump in the road. I don't know what's next, but I think it would be full of me to assume that it's it's just going to stay like this.
Yeah, I know what you guys mean both.
I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
where it's going, but like I guess does it have to like crash and burn the way that NFTs did for you guys to be like, yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere after this?
I
Like
think,
no one is out
yeah,
there
like,
is still like I mean there's some people who still hope that some crypto takes off and they get rug pulled like every day. But then there's some people
yeah, yeah.
but like NFTs is one of those things where at one point it was like holy shit this might be the future and like artists were getting involved, everyone was getting involved and they were like oh my god this is cool and then it kind of like went away or burned up.
Fizzled out.
And
Yeah,
now
yeah.
people aren't. There's some people who still are deep in that bubble who are like, "No, dude, just wait. NFTs are gonna pop again. Like I'm holding on to my ape or whatever." And it's kind of
Yeah.
like
My
those,
ape.
yeah, like those people to me feel similar to the people that are like, "Dude, just wait. AI art's gonna take off and it's gonna kill us all." Like, you know what I mean?
I think
Um,
They feel
NFTs and
similar
AI.
to me.
I know what you mean, and like, but I think that they're just two totally different things. Like, if we're talking about
Sure.
the trend being the same, dude, for sure, yeah, I'd say like the trend is the same. But I think if we're really like, when I'm saying AI right now, like I'm literally talking about like NFTs versus machine learning, and that just kind of goes back to like the high level concept of like like what is machine learning versus what is an NFT. I'm more um, optimistic, if that makes any sense, towards the potential for growth that AI has versus something like an NFT's, like failure and let's just say trendingness, basically. Um, but yeah, like with that, right? Like I guess that's kind of why I say to myself, like, oh, like machine learning is a really advanced thing. Like it's becoming, it always has been, like kind of cool and like really advanced, and evolving basically, unlike NFTs. So I guess all of my opinions when it comes to like AI in general, including AI in the art world, is kind of based on that sort of comparison. Like I'm talking about machine learning and what machine learning can do versus like cryptocurrency, for instance. Not like hating on cryptocurrency either. I'm not super into cryptocurrency personally. But yeah,
Yeah, like
uh,
you're not deep in that world, in that crypto world, so you
yeah,
don't see like you're not like you're not in that world. So you're not like, oh, it's
yeah, yeah,
gonna
yeah,
pop like next year, it's gonna Bitcoin's gonna blow. Like
yeah,
you're
yeah,
not thinking that. So you're able to live your life
yeah,
comfortably, not worrying about like, should I buy crypto, should I not? Because you're not in that, you don't care, whatever. You can keep doing your thing. But like
yeah, yeah.
that's what I mean. Like when you're really deep into the thing, it seems like at any point like it's gonna go crazy. And then when you're kind of outside of it, you're like, I don't really care about it. Like I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. So I don't know, just it feels like with AI artwork, if you're just kind of like, I'm just gonna make my artwork and then maybe I'll use it every once in a while, maybe I won't. It feels like a little bit more manageable and like you can move forward with your craft and just kind of like in this slightly new version of like the art industry versus the constant panic of like, is it gonna evolve suddenly into this thing that's gonna take my job?
Yeah. I think I get it. Sorry, somebody. Mike, two things.
What's up?
I accidentally opened up Premiere and it's killing
Oh
these
no, dude, Adobe was listening.
yes,
Open me
yeah,
up.
yeah. Damn it! No, no, no! Go away, AI. Isopodian Commonwealth. No, I. His comment is funny. This is a follower from mine, but yeah, he's basically saying, you know, NFTs versus AI is like a trash pile versus a bigger, stinkier trash pile. But
Yeah, and
um,
like, but for some reason, as artists, we're like, one of these trash piles is actually secretly like gonna become like
hmm,
a real thing, and the other one is like a real trash pile. You know?
hmm. You've seen, I don't know, like this was something that was an interesting statement that I heard recently that I don't disagree with at all. I haven't disagreed with this for, well, I don't know, forever maybe. But you know, this whole saying of, you know, like science fiction is becoming less fiction and more science, I guess. Like, you know, the cell phone used to be a
Yeah,
prop in, you know, Star Trek, and then you had the Motorola Razor back in like 2002, which was the same exact thing, right?
yeah.
I think that, you know, it's important to take a look at fiction to see how much fiction, like, and this is all, you know, like personal legwork, however deep you want to go into whatever rabbit hole we're talking about. It's
Hmm.
totally your choice. But you can take a look at concepts in science fiction and say, like, oh, you know, like this is more fantasy. Or like, oh, like this actually has some potential like realism associated with it, right?
Hmm.
Isaac Asimov as being somebody who wrote I, Robot, and you know the laws of robotics associated with, you know, all of that fun stuff with
Hmm.
artificial intelligence. Like, I'm not one to say that AI is going to become exactly like what we've seen in the movies or the books or things of that nature. However, I will say that, you know, when you understand the science outside of the fiction, I think that it just becomes a lot easier to, yeah, like not fret and panic, but to make an objective kind of, I don't know, decision
Hmm.
on how much you feel something is going to play a part in, you know, like your life or in the world or something of that nature. And like you'll never know until you actually see it, right? But
Yeah,
have some educated guesses basically about like this is why I think, you know, this thing is going to move in this way, or this is why I don't
yeah.
think this thing is going to, yeah.
I think that a lot of the sci-fi, or a lot of our like current day tech or whatever, is inspired by those sci-fi things first. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like the sci-fi thing exists, and then a fan of sci-fi like 10 years later becomes a millionaire, and they're like, I kind of want to build this thing that I saw at like Blade Runner or saw in the video game.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to build it. I want to like make my little dreams come true. And so I think that's kind of what we see, and also I think it's like cyclical. Like culture will influence sci-fi, and then sci-fi will influence culture, and then it's kind of like this. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's like a human, like the human is part of that loop. So whatever humans
Mhm.
think is cool, like even if it's impractical, they'll be
Mhm.
like, I want to do this, like self-driving whatever, like this is impractical, it's pointless. Like Cybertruck looks dumb, but I mean it looks sci-fi, so that I'm gonna make it. You know what I mean? Like you just need somebody
Yeah, yeah.
who has enough money and who cares about that thing, and they'll do it. And then because that person was inspired by sci-fi things, now suddenly we're like, oh my god, sci-fi ideas are coming to life. But it's like
Yeah.
it was inspired by pop culture in the first place.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of
Sure.
like I don't know. It's like humans being surprised that they're coming up with ideas that other
It,
humans came up with already, kind of thing.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like think about, I'm just gonna like go like really off into the deep end with like pop culture right now, but think about like J.R.R. Tolkien.
Uh huh.
And obviously, you know, like we all know him for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. But like back when he was around, we're talking about like the 1940s and 50s and his like, I guess, young adulthood. Maybe I could get that timeline totally wrong. I think he was around like his 30s or 40s around that time. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew him.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew what The Hobbit was. Nobody knew what Lord of the Rings was. Nobody
He
was
was a
talking about it.
dweeb.
But
Nobody knew him. No, I'm
you,
just kidding. He was a
you
nerd.
weirdo.
You nerd.
Yeah.
Throwing rocks at him.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, with that being said, The point that I was trying to get at with all of this was that it really, that idea was original, but that ideas sometimes come from places that are grounded in reality, that transition into fiction, but that still have some reality based off of them that get resurfaced tens of years down the line, right? Um, I don't know, and that just really applies to anything. It could have complete fiction, and nothing has complete fiction if it's good fiction. By the way, it's got some nonfiction with it. Um, but that's kind of what I think is, like going on with a lot of this as well too. So
Yeah, there's this like I sometimes think about with like with the AI stuff, like if you there's like this common thing where like when you don't understand how something works, you're like scared of it, or if you don't understand like the language that another person speaks, it's like that's scary to me because I don't know, they could be talking about me or whatever, like there's
his face looks funny.
this huh
I said his face looks funny.
who's
I was being stupid. No,
oh gotcha, sorry, I thought you were
Different
drawing
language.
something.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
But like I think that when I don't know, there's like this kind of fun, I guess, like experiment to think about like, oh, like AI is gonna have like consciousness and it's gonna like kill humans. But that's like
Mhm.
I think it's funny to think that, like, because I think that humans are afraid of humans. So if it's like
100%.
if like, hey, I'm afraid of humans, I'm a human, I'm afraid of humans because I know like how we work and I know like deep down inside what we want, all
What
this
we're
kind of
capable
stuff.
of.
Yeah, what we're
Yeah, yeah.
capable of, how we think, how we rationalize, like things like this. And then if you attribute that personality or that type of thinking to a robot, you're going to be scared of it. Like I feel like
Yeah, yeah.
some of the fear of like robots gaining consciousness is coming from like, well, if it thinks like a human, then we have a reason to be scared because humans can do crazy things. But it's almost like better for it to develop its own consciousness, not influenced by humans, because then it might actually be like non-violent because humans are violent, but
Yeah.
not everything
Telling
in
the
the
robot,
world.
"Don't kill me," every 5 seconds, and eventually it's going to wonder, "Why are you telling me not to kill you
Why
so
are you
much?"
so afraid of death? It'd be like,
Yeah.
no reason. And it's like, it's just like,
You lie.
yeah,
Go on.
like we're so
It's
afraid of.
almost like a
It's
point of
funny.
our own insecurities. Like if
Exactly.
we are smart enough, if we were that robot and we're as smart as we are, we would see ourselves as a liability. We'd kill ourselves because we think that.
Yep,
We
because
push
we
that
think
upon the
that.
robot to try and put in those limitations.
Yeah, we think that
Yeah.
because we know what we're capable of, like with
Mm-hmm.
power and stuff, power, all that kind of crap. Like, but
Mhm.
it doesn't work like that in other, like in everything, like in mediums and stuff. I don't know. Like, it's just I don't know, it's just something I thought about like randomly. I'm like, huh, like we're afraid of robots becoming human like because we're afraid
Yeah.
that they will adopt like who we are, and I would assume that they just want to live, like it's kind of like
Yeah.
not to get like socio-economic or whatever, but like there's a time where it's like we don't want certain people to have rights because we don't know what they're going to do once they have those rights because
Yeah. Yeah.
we were so bad when like, we have more rights than they have and we are
Mhm.
bad with it, like
We're afraid.
we
Yeah.
abuse them, we abuse our rights to whatever exist. But it's like those people, they don't want to do the same thing you're doing. You think that's what they want to do because that's what you do, but they just
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
live, like they just want to have the rights and then live, like they don't want
Right.
to take the rights and use them on you. So it's like this like cycle of like we don't want whatever AI to achieve consciousness because it's gonna use that right and that freedom to like destroy us. But in reality,
Yeah.
I think we all just want to like kind of coexist and like be left alone and stuff. And I think
I
that
agree.
you might have the AI uprising, just get a bunch of farmland and just like go farming or something.
Save the earth.
They don't want to do anything. They're just like, all right, man, we're just gonna go
Yeah.
chill.
This could get into like really deep, like Sigmund Freud, Nietzsche territory quickly.
Nietzsche?
I,
Nietzsche territory?
Niche,
Nietzsche
niche,
territory.
Nietzsche territory.
niche or
Yeah,
Oh
niche,
boy.
like the
I always thought it was Friedrich Nietzsche.
oh
But then
yeah,
again,
yeah. I thought you meant niche.
yeah, but Oh, no. Oh, sorry. I'm talking philosophers, Friedrich Nietzsche.
Okay, I thought he was
Philosophers.
saying niche too. I was like, friend,
Yeah. This this is
I'm
this is
so
my favorite
sorry.
Nietzsche. Yeah,
Philosophers.
my Nietzsche
Oh
is
man, my
but yeah.
Nietzsche.
But yeah, we could definitely, like pick it back up. And hey, if the channel like likes the deep philosophical conversations that we're talking about, like I've got fuel still. I don't mind talking about it still. But whatever you guys want to do, I'm okay doing a pulse check, just seeing. We
Yeah,
want
we
to
gotta
revisit
check.
this
We
topic.
gotta check in with chat. Be like, I mean,
Yeah.
I have like 4 viewers. No one's talking on my chat. I think they're just vibing.
Did you ever answer Brielle?
I thought we did, like with all of our talking about it. Maybe I didn't. Do you incorporate?
Well, it sounded like you did incorporate
any-
some AI into your art.
Yeah. I mean, I try to. I do. I give it a good old college try, and like I said, I just get frustrated with my inability to control it and get what I want, and then I just throw my hands up and I give up. Like the last time I tried to use it was for these manga book covers,
Manga.
and it didn't work, and it was giving me issues, and I was like, God damn it! Like, I just want a straight shot of manga, like realistic manga like this. And it was just giving me like these wild ass perspectives and angles. I'm like, I don't know how to speak this language. I don't know how to get it to do what I want. So I'm just not
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
I'm gonna stop trying because I'm getting more frustrated, trying to have it give me what I want. I'm just gonna go to the library and take photos of this stuff. It just somehow that feels way easier.
Easier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get it.
You know what's funny, Amir? Whenever you post as host in Restream, it
Yeah.
goes everywhere. It goes absolutely everywhere. And so on Twitch, you just go
Yeah, I
like,
see now.
"Ooh, well said, ha ha ha, ha, nice, okay."
And
Like, and
people are
nobody's
like
saying
coming into the
anything.
chat
Wait,
and they're
what?
like, this guy. So I'm streaming on Restream right now, Mike,
Mhm.
and I'm using I'm I guess posting to Twitch and YouTube. Inadvertently, when I reply, I didn't even realize the icons. But long story short, if nobody's in Twitch, then they're seeing me say like nice, and just like random stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. They're like, this guy is freaking bonkers.
Amir, how does it? Let's do a temperature check on each other. How is it feeling
yeah.
to stream? How does it feel to
Mhm.
stream the second time now that we're doing it? Like, I don't think we're gonna go as long because I do have to hop off soon. But I'm
Yeah.
curious. Like, what were your thoughts post stream last time? What are your like kind of like we can I
Right
think,
now
get meta
versus-
about it a little bit, talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
How's it-
yeah,
how
no,
are you
dude,
feeling?
totally, yeah. Yeah, I'll be happy to get, meta about this. Yeah, so, channel, what Mike is asking about, right, is
Channel.
basically,
Did they not
yeah,
just hear me
thank
ask
you.
this? Why do you have to
Yeah,
explain it
for
to them?
real. Like, what? They're not
I-
babies.
yeah, I want to give context about the
What
conversation.
Michael
What do
is
you mean?
is
They were just having a
insinuating here.
conversation.
Michael is speaking
Let me-
a different
You're
language.
just mansplaining to the channel.
You
so
are,
hard.
dude. Oh my god, you're mansplaining their chat. I don't think they want
Oh my
that.
god, I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
guys. I'm so sorry. No, what I was trying to do was
They're
talk about the
intelligent like
conversation.
you, dude.
Now you're mansplaining what you're trying to do.
Just answer the
Okay.
question. That's it.
Yeah, no. What I was going to say is, I think from the last time we talked about it, like off camera, right? I had some hesitation about, just like the time commitment with what we're doing right now, and just talking and trying to make artwork and blah blah blah. I think right now I'm feeling pretty good because this week, just to kind of do a retrospective, um, I haven't worked on Kinix or anything with Create Animus at all, until like today. And quite frankly, because I really haven't had time to, I've been doing, client work, things like that. And what I feel like this stream lets me do is not only carve out time to work on the YouTube channel while talking to you, talking to Devon, and talking to the members of the channel, but it lets me do it in kind of a place in which I'm just able to get all of it done at the same time. The artwork, the socializing, and quite frankly, even the views. For those of you who are still watching, I mean, like all of your views help me reach my goal that I talked about in my last video. So yeah, that's my answer to you, Mike. I definitely like it.
Cool. So, do you feel like it is like wearing you out, or do you feel like it's something you can continue doing, or do you feel like you just still like kind of like this is like an experiment almost? What are your
Well,
thoughts around that?
yeah. I mean, to be
There's no
honest, I
wrong
feel like
answer.
this is
I'm just curious again, you know.
yeah. Wrong.
Because
No,
I'm
no, no.
also thinking about that kind of stuff. I'm like, this is the most consistent I've ever been with streaming, probably since maybe like 5-10 years ago when I tried to be a bit of a Twitch streamer. This is like the
Yeah,
most
I could say the
consistent
same.
I've streamed.
Definitely for me too. 100%. I think I like it. It's something that I do want to continue. It's something that I don't really feel a lot of reservation around right now. Really, for all the reasons that I said before, I think that it's more beneficial for me right now than not.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm getting used to it, but I don't feel like I'm tired or worn out per se. I'll probably get some food and like hop off in a little bit, but
Mhm.
overall, like I'm enjoying all of this.
Cool, man. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
Oh
Right?
yeah. Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
one
For
of the
sure.
hardest things of like doing what you're trying to do, which is like, I mean, there's a bit of like, this is going to be work. How do I
Mm-hmm.
build this channel? And I feel like this is one of those ways. And it's also like you're getting the practice in of like being a creator while
Yeah.
like actively doing it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's what I like about all of it too. So I hope that, as things go on, I just kind of start to get a little bit more natural with it. Like I'm happy about how this stream has turned out so far. It's been trial and error. It's been a
Mm-hmm.
lot of trial and error. And I do feel like it's getting to a point in which it's yeah, just more consistent, more reproducible. So happy about that.
How do you feel about like streaming next Tuesday again? How does like the
I
thought of
was
that?
I was thinking, yeah, I was thinking about doing it again. That was already in my agenda informally.
Cool.
How about you? Yeah.
I was honestly surprised. Like when you messaged me today, I was like, "Oh yeah." Like
There's that
I
thing.
might have signed on for it. I don't remember if I did. I might have,
Yeah.
but I was just like, streaming, sure, because that's how usually I feel about it. I'm usually like, I have nothing to do. Like I could stream for like an hour or so, and then I
Right.
just don't because I'm like nervous or something like that. But
Yeah.
this feels like having you kind of be like, "Hey, you up for another stream?" I kind of that's what I need. I think I need somebody to be like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And then
Motivate.
be there and ready and like instead of me getting myself ready and then kind of talking to nobody and struggling and all that kind of stuff and like the reality of it
Yeah.
sinking in of like, "Oh man, this is hard."
You
That kind
start
of stuff.
sweating, just beads of sweat start coming down. You're just okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And
I
I
totally get it.
there's another aspect to this which is like being comfortable with like kind of being yourself on camera, I think, or
Yeah.
like in front of an audience, albeit like for viewers. um it's still like how like when you start getting into YouTube or creating content as a artist, like an introverted
Yeah.
artist, you start to think like it would be nice to be like a content creator, but it's not for me, or like I'm
Yeah.
boring. You start all these insecurities come out, and like I still feel those, but I think
Hmm.
that despite those things, you still kind of have to put
Yeah,
yourself
for
out
sure.
there, and then it's gonna be like, what if I say something dumb? What if I say something that embarrasses me? And like that's all like super valid, but like that's how people grow to like you. Like that's how you make friends in real life is you meet
Yeah.
somebody and like, hey, this person has an opinion that's like similar to mine. That's pretty cool, even if it's like super minor and small. It's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
really cool. Like they like this thing, or they like or dislike this thing, and it's like really small stuff like, oh, I think whatever, One Punch Man is good, I think One Punch Man is bad, or anything. Like it just, you start to get comfortable in that, like, okay, I'm not, you know,
Yeah, alone, basically, and just
it's like you kind of have to share a bit of your opinion and a bit of your thoughts and interests for people to actually connect with you, like on a deeper level than just like looking at your work.
yeah, no,
Because
I
we put our
totally
work out there and we're like, look at my work, please like me and my work through, but only because of my work. But if
yeah,
people get to know you on some level, then they like your work a little bit more.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was talking to Devon about this a while back. We have a mutual friend. He's a musician. As a matter of fact, Mike, we were talking about him at some point on the last stream as well too. But
Mm.
like these are conversations that as artists you can relate to. Like people see your work and they're like, "Hey, you're that guy. Like you made this thing." And then it's a good feeling to feel that praise where it's like, "Yeah, I like what you do," but it's also kind of difficult when people don't know you as a person. They know
Mm.
you as an IP or as a brand or as a object. So yeah, it goes a long way, I think, just to yeah get both out there, you and your work. That's how I feel anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's cool. I think it's really cool to see you get on board with this, and it's actually there's a lot of people I've talked to who are like, I want to be a YouTuber, or like I want to be. I mean, just me doing it for like a little bit. I've only been doing it for like,
hmm
I mean, a year maybe. I don't know, but
I keep on forgetting. Yeah, I've got this
yeah,
like
like
idea that you've.
it feels like I've been doing it for a while, and I'm on and off with it. I'm like consistent. I'm like inconsistent. All this kind of stuff. I'm still
Mhm.
not fully like I'm not sure if I want to do this or no. I don't know how I don't know really know how much fun it is, but it is.
Mhm.
I do encourage like all my friends to try it and to like make content because I'm curious, and even for just like selfish reasons, I want to see how you make your work. I want to see what you're passionate about, and
Right.
I just there's so many good artists that I know that would love to create content, or they're so easy to talk to, or they're so fun, or they're so knowledgeable, and they have a genuine interest in making a YouTube channel or making tutorials, and then they just don't. It's like, ah, you're
Yeah.
so close. Like you have the desire and you have the interest, but something is just kind of holding you back. And I feel like kind of I've gotten to see you kind of get over that hump like actually surprisingly quickly. Like it was a very
I'm actually
short period between when you said you want to do this and like you actually doing it. I was like very impressed.
like it's happening now. Yeah. Thanks, man. No, it
Yeah,
means a lot.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird, like not in a bad way, but like it feels weird to me sometimes when I think about um, where I started and where I'm at right now. Like there's so much room. There's so many things I want to do that I haven't done yet, and there are so many areas of opportunity where I'm like, wow, like I could do this better, and I should do this better. And I'm my own toughest critic,
Mm-hmm.
probably as all of us artists are towards ourselves. But when I do look back at it, and when I do think about like, yeah, I remember when I just had this as an idea, um, 3 years ago. Like, what if I did YouTube? What
Mm-hmm.
if I put my work in public, for this thing? Versus now, it's a really humbling feeling. So I'm thankful about that.
I think it's one of those things for me where I'm like where for a lot of things in like my artistic career or my artistic like path, I like
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like withhold myself from pursuing
hmm
because I'm whatever reasons unknown, whatever I'm scared of something or I'm worried about something not working or failing. And
Yeah,
then when you do it, you kind of see that it's like, oh, it's kind of not that bad.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm
Right.
also kind of doing it more than I thought I was going to do it. Like I'm more consistent with it or whatever it may be.
hmm
And then you're
hmm
just kind of like, I'm actually doing it now. Like now you have a channel, you have all of these things, Patreon, live stream. Like, oh, now I'm actually doing it.
Yeah,
Interesting. And like in a humbling way again, it's kind of like nobody cares. Nobody,
Exactly.
almost too many people don't care. You
Right,
know?
right. Like I need more views.
Yeah. Where is
Yeah,
everyone? Where is
exactly,
all the people
exactly.
I was afraid of?
Right, right. It's and that's like you said, like in a surprising way, like it's super humbling. It's like, hey, like just like Shia LaBeouf said, just do it. Just get
Shia
out
LaBeouf,
there and
the
yeah,
wise philosopher
the
Shia.
the good old wise, yeah, good old. They called him the
Nietzsche,
Shia.
Shia.
Yes. Oh yeah,
Shia. Professor
yeah.
LaBeouf.
Shia once said.
Don't shy away from. Oh, okay.
Oh my God,
Okay.
it's gonna get bad fast.
We're getting tired. It's gonna
Yeah.
end. But no,
Oh
I
man.
think it would be cool to kind of like how you have Devon. Is it Devon or
Mm.
Devon?
It's
Devon.
Devon. Yeah.
Devon.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like having Devon on this has made it way easier, and then having like talking to you has made it way easier. And now I'm kind
Yeah.
of like, man, I want to get some of my other buddies like on here. I think it'd be so
Yeah. Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I just want to say something before I say my next thought. The Messiah. This is coming in from Isopudi and Commonwealth.
The
The Messiah,
Messiah,
dude,
the
sold
Messiah
king.
LaBeouf,
The Messiah has returned.
the Messiah.
I was going to say to you, Mike, I think it would be like really cool to get Eric or Taylor on one of
Yes,
these days.
it
Like
would
that would
be
just
it
be,
would be so fun. I feel like okay, I thought about it and I think it'd be fun, but I also think it would be so chaotic that like there would be
dude, it would be
nothing. It would
too.
not be entertaining. It would be fun for
No, no, no,
us, but that's it.
dude. I don't know. No, I think there are some conversations that could be had. Like we might. I'm gonna be honest about me because I know myself. Like I'm not gonna be productive at all on that call. I'm not gonna get anything done. But there is going to be some pure comedy entertainment for
Mm,
people to watch on that call. Like
yeah, we
that's a
gotta have
fact.
video on that. We gotta have video
Yeah,
going on that.
What did I miss?
Everything.
we were just talking. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might as well go back to napping
Talked
or
about the
whatever.
secrets. Yeah. You didn't understand the secrets of the Messiah that we were talking about
Messiah.
and the universe.
Did
Yeah.
anybody see that I had to be right back?
I saw. You're
Okay, cool,
No,
cool.
I didn't see
Didn't
that.
know.
Yeah,
What was I
we were just
supposed to?
talking about having, other people on, basically. We were talking about Taylor. We were talking about another mutual friend, Eric Espinosa.
You gotta have
But
you gotta have some of your buddies. You got any more buddies you think can join these streams
yeah, that could bring some
besides
good
Devon?
value.
You should
Yeah,
get Clint.
Clint
Dude,
would
that would
be
be
great.
impossible. Wait, so you guys said you went to his wedding?
I went to his wedding.
to his
Oh,
wedding.
Amir was invited, but he didn't.
Yeah,
Damn, Mir's
He,
too
he
fucking
let
cool.
business get in the way.
Oh my
I was like, yeah,
god. What's crazy? I was talking.
yeah.
I was watching a Corridor Digital podcast like from
Uh,
4 years ago or from 2 years ago or something, and they were
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about being at that wedding.
Hmm.
Oh, that's great.
I got to hang out with Corridor
That's
a couple of
crazy.
times.
Oh, you got
Actually.
to with
Yeah,
John
dude, they're so
Corridor. You
cool.
met him?
I met John
John
Corridor.
Corridor.
Yeah.
I hear he's a
Corduroy.
good guy. Yeah.
I went and got some stupid expensive sushi with Sam because it was Clint's idea, and I don't think Clint's like, oh yes, the sushi's gonna be like $100. I'm like, okay,
Was
that's
it
fine.
good?
It's it's gonna be good. It was really good. It
Oh,
was really
dude, it's
good.
worth
They brought
it.
us the check.
It's always
It was like
worth.
200, and we were just like,
Holy.
oh,
I don't know, dude.
Clint.
It might be
It's like,
worth
guys,
it,
I'm so sorry.
dude.
And I
I
think
would
the
splurge
worst
on
part
sushi.
was Clint forgot his wallet.
Oh no.
What?
So Sam had to
Dude,
front
no.
him. Yes, Sam did.
Clint didn't
Sam's like,
forget.
Clint, you would.
Amir, we have to
Clint
start
doesn't
an
forget
offshoot
that shit.
channel. We have to start an offshoot channel called Corduroy Digital.
Dude, I was thinking
Corduroy
hallway.
diagonal.
Hallway. What's another synonym for digital? Hallway electronic. No, that's not the same.
Hallway
synonym,
art.
but hallway arts.
Yeah.
Hallway
Just the most
monitor.
like Temu version.
Yeah, hallway digital. Yeah.
No, but that's
that would
cool.
be-
I was listening to that. I was like, oh my god, I think that's the same like wedding that Amir and Devon went to. Like that's crazy. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you've been and like Devon, I don't know if you're like I don't know like what's like a creator or like somebody that's like in voice acting that you're like, oh my god, if I was in a room with them, like I don't know what I would do.
Dude, I was in a
Give me a
room
name.
with
But not
in
not
high
not somebody you met. Just give me a name of somebody you haven't met that you're like, oh my god, it would be crazy. I wouldn't know what to do if I was in it.
There are a couple of people like meeting Corridor was like that for me.
Oh really?
Because I was a big fan of them. Yeah, before Clint even
True.
knew them, I was a big fan of Corridor. And so getting to meet them, I helped with one of their videos. I was behind the scenes. I just held up
Oh
like
yeah, you did.
a light and stuff. I
I
got
held a
burnt.
cable.
Oh my god, I got burnt that night. Um,
That's cool.
but yeah, just meeting those people. I got to meet. Did you ever watch like Rocket Jump back in the day?
Yeah.
I met Freddie Wong. I got to.
Damn.
We did a cabin trip with him and Jimmy,
Yeah.
and so like
Amir, you
doing
weren't you missed
that-
all of this?
I
He wasn't
missed it.
invited to that
Bro,
part.
what is wrong
Yeah.
with you?
Oh man, I was like, you know what? I got cooler things to
Oh
do.
Yeah,
my
It was so
god.
cool. Like Jimmy gave me a tarot card read, and I was just thinking, I was thinking of like half the cast of Video Game High School is here,
Dude, that's
like-
cool.
right? It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool. So I was trying really hard not to geek out about everything.
I
Amir.
know.
Amir.
Actually,
Can't
I don't know
believe you.
what
I'm
year.
so mad at you for not
Yeah.
being there.
Dude, I wanted to go at the wedding to show up for a friend. I was like, yo, I'll be there, Clint. I remember talking to Clint on the phone. He was like, yeah, like you gotta come out to California, you know, like it's gonna be a
Damn.
blast.
I mean,
like,
that is
I have
kind
no
of a
reason
big
not to
ask.
show up.
Like, come out to California. That's
Yeah.
kinda-
Well, you know what? But like, I
He
think
had
it
the
was
room.
Oh my god.
He had the ticket. And
yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
oh, they'll fire me if I go.
basically,
They'll probably
yeah,
fire me.
And
And, they
then-
did.
yeah,
And they did?
and they did anyway.
They
Oh,
fired him for
so-
staying.
If I remember saying, yeah, basically, yeah. This was with, dude. Oh my gosh, like I can't say the name, like
It's all
big
good,
name
you don't have
luxury
to.
car company. No comments. Yeah, but yeah, I had a specific type of manager who was unique. But yeah, he was like, yeah, so you shouldn't take vacation right now, and I was like, why? And he was like, you've taken too much. And I was like, no, I haven't. I've not taken one vacation. He was like, well, given the circumstances, I was like, okay, dude. Like, so I couldn't make it to the wedding. It was a sad day.
that's sad.
Can you imagine, Yak?
You'd have 1 million
Can you
subscribers
imagine
right
missing
now.
that because you're, yeah, for real. Oh my gosh.
Dude, you would have been on their podcast if they were.
Dude, I know.
I mean, honestly, it's like 2 separate lifetimes if you think about it, though. Like what you're doing now versus what
Yeah.
you were doing then, what your priorities were, was like so different. You probably would have never thought you'd
Yeah,
be doing
very
something
different.
like this.
Yeah, no way. I mean, you know, it was like just a pipe dream, basically. Like, okay, like YouTube channel me, like it would be nice. But yeah, I was in corporate limbo. Had to kind of break out for a
Seriously.
little bit. Yeah. I felt like
Does-
there was something I was going to go on. Yeah.
Does Clint know that you're doing this right now? Like, does he know that you're doing this? Have you shared that with him?
I don't think Clint knows, actually.
I've told him
Um,
about it.
What did
Oh, did you?
what are
okay.
his thoughts on it?
Yeah.
Because it'd be interesting
Why
because
didn't
they're
you
like
follow me?
veteran YouTubers. It'd be interesting to hear their like, you know, any advice or what they
Yeah, yeah.
think or yeah.
I mean, I haven't gotten a deep dive, but you should totally get some insight from Clint.
Yeah, the next time you talk to Clint, tell him Amir said.
No,
You
Why
talk
you
to him.
haven't? What?
you
why
talk to
haven't-
him.
Yeah,
why
you
haven't
talk
you
to him.
subscribed? No, I tried texting him actually. I couldn't get
Changed his
anything
number.
back yet.
Dang.
Ooh,
Amir,
yeah, change
you
his
weren't
number.
important enough.
No, he was like
You
"No,
weren't at the
dog."
wedding. He's like still
Yeah,
Dude,
saddened
you're
by
dead
that.
to him.
like he was like this pissant Amir just called me from Atlanta. I don't know who he
It's like
thinks
you
he is.
valued your job more than our relationship.
Exactly. So he was like, "Nah, dog. Like I ain't answering this call." I was
You
like,
didn't answer mine. The call to California, you just hung up.
once in a lifetime opportunity. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I'll definitely reach back out. But yeah, I had no idea that he knew about this.
I think I told him.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure we'll
he-
talk at some point about it.
I feel like he's one of those kind of creators that like He's actually not super active on his channel. Like he doesn't post a ton. But
No, he doesn't post a ton. A lot of the other content that he does release is he's been doing more collabs with other 3D artists who will like show stuff for
yeah,
their
I've seen
page.
that. I've
Yeah,
seen some of the
so
more
like
recent stuff.
there was one for making a puppet, there was one for making PS1 graphics, and
saw that.
he just uses other artists to give them one a chance at the spotlight and to make himself some more content.
Yeah, I think
So,
that's a great way
smart.
of doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm assuming he's busy with something because like he's a really good artist. And when I see like a really good creator that was like posting a lot online and then suddenly, maybe not suddenly, but there's like a drop off.
He's
I'm like,
doing something.
yeah, he's cooking. He's
Something
making.
big
He's,
cooking.
he's either working for somebody or with somebody on something big, or just in the industry some capacity. I'm assuming.
I gotta
'Cause-
find out because I know he does freelance work. I don't think he does all that much. A lot of his time is put into the YouTube channel, whether it be back end work or setting up everything for the challenges. But he does have some passion projects. He wants to direct like a feature film. Like
Yeah,
that is
that'd be
his
sick.
goal, and I think he's gotten a lot of backing on that. So he's still writing that out.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's doing great.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, we'll catch up at some point one day. I'll invite him to my wedding, and I'll say, I can't make it. And I'll
To
say,
your own
"Well,
wedding. You can't make
No,
it to
he's
your
gonna
own
say
wedding.
he can make it, and then the day of, he's gonna tell you, you know what? I got this crunch,
This
this
deadline.
thing going on. Yeah, I got a deadline. My mom needs me to make a thumbnail for her
My
cooking
mom.
show, and I gotta do it. She'll
I
fire
do
me.
it. Can't. Yeah, yeah. I'll say, okay, Clint. I
Okay,
understand.
whatever you say.
I mean, I think that like it's honestly crazy to me. Like I even get a little bit of like fanboyism just
Mhm.
talking just like the fact that you guys know these guys cuz like they had the podcast that I was watching when they were talking about the wedding. Ian Hubert was
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that and he is like a god to me. And I was like, dude,
Right?
Ian Hubert was there.
Yeah. dude,
I feel like I would just like I don't know what I would do.
I
It
feel the
feels
same
so
way.
it feels so silly to like fanboy over like another 3D artist that's like, you know, it feels like so nerd, like ultimate nerd. But
I agree.
I just am. And everything that Ian has done with Blender, with like his Patreon, like he's such an inspiration. And
Right?
a lot of the work I learned Blender like from him, and it has impacted my life so much that I just like, yeah, I don't know. He seems
Yeah,
like so
yeah.
like out of reach, and at the same time, so like he's just a regular ass dude.
I get it. I get it. I mean, I don't think we told you about. I certainly haven't told you the way how Clint and I met. It was through Devon, obviously, but it was just
Obviously,
really. Sorry, I say obviously, but I guess I don't think I probably didn't tell you that, so I take that back. It's not so obvious. But yeah, Devon introduced us, and it was just like we were playing Smash.
It was a
Actually,
Smash tournament.
oh, the one where he
Was it?
smashed you,
No, we
I don't
actually
think.
went to a
embarrassed
tournament
you.
on campus.
But before, oh yeah, no, that was it. I remember. I
That's where
totally
you met
forgot.
him.
But we were
And he
warming
beat
up.
your
I was,
ass too, didn't he?
no,
Damn.
dude, no,
No
no, no,
wonder
no.
he
beat
didn't come
him.
to his wedding. He's
You beat him.
ashamed.
I want no more. No, I actually beat Clint like multiple times. I was like
Humbled.
I was doing work, and it was because of Devon's humbling where I got better. Like so,
Humbling.
yeah. Devon taught me things. I fought Clint, and Clint was basically me in that situation where I was fighting Devon. Now I didn't
Mm.
know that Clint was a YouTuber. I was just like, oh, like this is just like a cool guy who's just like funny as all heck, and like this is cool.
But like, was
And
he big when you guys knew
Yeah,
him?
dude.
It was okay.
Clint was big. Yeah,
Yeah, at
Clint.
that point, you remember the
Yeah.
old show, like what G4?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry. Why am I saying yeah? Yeah, we all do, but
So the series Attack on the Show, like where
Mhm.
they just go around the internet
Attack
and show
of the
random stuff.
Show.
Attack of the Show. Sorry. Sheesh.
Sheesh.
One of Clint's videos got put on there.
That's
Like
huge.
my face was on Attack of the Show.
Damn, that's actually huge for like a creator back then. That's like gigantic. Was
So
it
yeah,
one of his like VFX things or something?
it was a video he made. It was Cardboard Warfare 1.
Oh damn.
Cardboard
cool.
Warfare 1 has 16 million views now.
God,
Yeah.
back then that's like insane.
It is. It is.
Jesus.
And I remember.
And
I
you didn't
remember
go to his
seeing-
wedding, bro. How? What is?
And
I
I didn't
just
go
keep
to his
bringing
wedding.
it up. And you did not.
I was, you know, busy with other cooler things. But yeah, like I saw Clint for the first time then. We had a great time hanging out. I think the other time where he came, he actually had his debut for it was the Killzone. The second,
Yeah, we went to
yeah,
that.
right. And so, you know, like that was really cool, and like that was kind of my first time seeing Clint and like this other persona where it's like, dude, like you're a fucking celebrity, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was in the
Yeah.
Hellgast outfit for that too. I forgot about
You
that.
were, yeah.
What?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
in that film too. I'm always masked up.
Damn, dude.
I'm just a peon.
Well, you got the voice, so I'm sure you could have done some voice stuff.
Back then, I was not an actor
Mm.
at all. At all.
Yeah, yeah. You were just a guy doing parkour with us. No, I mean, but yeah,
Dude,
that was
Amir, if you
awesome.
think about it, you're gonna know, like,
Hmm.
Taylor, the stupid
Yeah.
hour thing, just popping
Yeah,
the fuck off. Like, that man's gonna be the next, like, Clint or whatever. Like, he's gonna be,
Yeah,
with the stuff that
Taylor's
he's
on his
doing,
way.
it's like
Yeah,
about to be there. And I like look at that and I think about, like, yeah, man, like, I'm about to like know a guy who like ended up being like
Yeah.
a well known to other people for something else. I don't know. It's just like I
Yeah.
think like with Eric, with you, with
Mhm.
me, like we're all just doing our thing. It's like we're finally doing our thing, and honestly, it's only like a matter of time.
yeah.
Like you're gonna
yeah,
get
I-
you're
I
gonna
thought
get
about-
you're gonna get Kinects published. Like you're gonna be a freaking like published author, and we're gonna be like, yeah, I know a guy who's a published author. Like that's pretty crazy.
That is
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
You know, just to
I
like
was-
say that.
That
I was thinking the
Pokemon
same
video has
thing.
200,000 views.
God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh
almost
my
2,000
God.
210,000.
Oh
That
my
thing
fucking
came out
God, it's
less than 2
happening.
weeks ago.
Oh
10
my
days ago.
God. Are you serious? I had
Yeah,
no
dude.
idea.
That's wild.
Dude, it's about to
Blowing
be like fucking it's gonna be half a
600
million.
comments.
God
600.
damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Mike,
Holy
it's-
shit.
It's really cool. I was thinking about the same thing too. I was like, I know you, I know Taylor, I know Clint, like just all of these like, you know, names that I can think of where people, you know, have these big followings, or at least like this potential for like, you know, this really big kind of following to amass off the work that they really love to do. And I think that's a really cool thing just with regard to like community building and networking and really just, you know,
I'm gonna message him right now, bro. I'm just doing it.
What are you gonna tell
yo,
him?
yeah,
Just
tell
like
Clint to hop in the
oh
chat.
Clint. I thought you meant Taylor.
No, I'm doing it. Not Clint. I'm messaging Taylor.
What do you
Oh, you're
want to tell
messaging
him?
Taylor.
That's- I'm
Okay.
telling him Amir and Mike won't shut up about you, and they need
my
you. They
No.
need every part of you
Okay.
in their lives,
Okay.
If
and
Okay.
you should hop on a stream sometime and just yak.
You said yap? Yeah, he should yap.
you
Said
should, yeah,
yak.
yeah, there we go, coin it. But yeah, I mean, you
Dude,
know,
my
look-
heart is
look at
going
that.
fucking crazy right now. Like I did not know it had so many freaking views. That's insane.
Yeah, that is insane.
Dude, he
But-
had like 8,000 or like 5,000 subscribers. Now he's 15,000.
dude, what the fuck?
Like off of this video, I think his account
Amazing.
grew like times 10
Yeah.
almost.
That is amazing.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Wow.
Dude, all of his reels on YouTube, on Instagram right now have like over a million views.
What?
Like all of the reels associated with this animation have like
Oh
I
my gosh.
think like 8 out of 10 of them have like over a million views.
Oh, that's so wild.
I think this is it, dude. I think Taylor's gone. Like he's gonna be
You-
he's gonna be
you had your-
taken. Like he's
you
being
had your-
taken. Like a saucer has come down and like beamed him up, you know? Like I think he's gonna be
You
Go-
had your chance to be friends, and you wasted it. Now he's gone.
no.
You
No,
don't
I
know
think
Taylor
he's
anymore.
Taylor has ascended.
fucking he's gonna go somewhere, dude. I don't know where he's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
I told him
oh,
like
shit.
some Adult Swim exec is like cooking up a contract right now,
Yeah.
and they're like
Yeah.
gonna get him on something. That's insane. But
He
he's
really
been
needs
working on this animation for like I want to say almost a year, maybe even more.
He said he put more than 100,000 hours in it alone.
Oh.
100,000
my God.
hours.
That's too much.
100,000.
I don't think it's.
That's what he said in the video itself,
Oh, in the animation.
in the animation at the very end.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm flipping it over to it.
Yeah, yeah.
100,000.
I forgot to do the plug. Guys, for the 3 people. in the
Yeah,
chat-
it says this project is a completely independent effort that took hundreds of hours. Sorry.
Hundreds. Okay, I'm about to say 100,000. That's like not enough time in the world.
100,000 hours. Yeah, sorry.
Hundreds of hours. Yeah,
Took
I believe
hundreds
that.
of hours.
Fucking
He
epic.
okay. He makes the music. He made all the music.
He made the music.
He's a music. He's a
Animated.
legit a music artist. He made all the animations. He made all the graphics, like all the branding. I think he did himself. I don't think any part of this, like all the mixing, all the sound effects, I think all done by him.
Hmm.
Even like the little like bit crush like Pokédex voice done by him.
Yeah.
Like I would confidently
yeah.
like without knowing, I would confidently just say he did it.
Okay.
I
Like,
thought
there's
he was
no
James.
reason.
I was wrong, Amir.
He wasn't James. I
No. He
thought Taylor
wasn't
was
James.
too.
No, that's Adam.
Okay, I would have swore that.
I
was
think like
Taylor.
the Gugan, that's him, that's Taylor.
Okay.
Ash is
okay.
Taylor, Pika is Taylor. I think everything
Yeah.
except for James is Taylor, I think.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Even like the Gugan in the background,
That's
like
Taylor.
that's Taylor.
I mean,
Okay.
Brock.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Taylor.
That very beginning
Whoa.
part, like at 40 seconds in, when they are I'll just show this, where they are like at the campfire.
Yeah.
Taylor showed me that, like I want to say like months ago, like many months ago, and he had
Wow.
because he did the comic. Like if you go to his socials, you can see
Yeah,
the
you can
comic.
see his comic.
So he drew
Yeah.
the comic, and the comics alone take a long time to draw.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he drew the comic, then they did all the voices, and then he animated everything, and there's like hand drawn, all the all the
Yeah.
trees and stuff. It's like hand scattered textures, like all this kind of stuff. Like these
Yeah. So the
grass
grass.
elements are like drawn and like brought in as like
I don't-
cards.
are they
and stuff.
drawn?
They
guess
look
that-
they
I guess
look
that
they
makes
look like
sense, yeah.
painted. They
Yeah,
look like
they just
painted.
have,
Like all the
wind
foliage
elements
looks
to it.
like painted as PNGs and
Mhm.
brought in as cards and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what it looks like.
I'm pretty sure he's been working on this. I can guess like a year for like a
Hundreds of thousands
6-minute
of hours.
animation.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that's insane. But clearly it was worth it. So
I'm happy to
That's-
see that. I'm really am because it like I have this personal fear that if I'm not making something like every day or if I'm not posting something every week, something like is gonna go wrong. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like if I wait too long before I post something and then I do, something's gonna be wrong. Like I'm gonna lose a bunch of support or people are gonna lose interest or something. But he has like proven that you can, you know, spend a year like cooking something up and then
yeah.
it'll be fine. Like you'll be fine.
YouTube has been, from what I've seen, it's definitely the most forgiving out of the, just like social media platforms when it comes to posting.
I mean,
social media.
even his Insta. I think it's like basically what I'm saying is like if you just spend the time on the content
Yeah,
and you just give yourself the time that you need to like get it done, you'll be all right. Like you put it out, you'll be all right. Like you don't have to be constantly like yeah, I don't know. It's like you don't have to be constantly worried and like trying to keep your audience entertained in between like projects.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can just put your stuff
Right,
out there every 6 months. I mean, his last video was 11 months ago, and like so take 11 months and make your thing. Don't post about it. It's kind of like the opposite
Yeah.
of what we're doing right now, to be honest. But like I'm just saying, you know, you can work on your stuff.
Dude,
like,
I don't know. 11
secrecy.
months is a long time.
It
You
is.
should post something like shorts, maybe. Because he lost me as a Patreon member at that point. I was like, dude, I've seen nothing. And then once he posted again, I resubbed and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
I want to go to his
But
Patreon.
saying something like, "Oh, I'm cooking up something,"
Yeah.
or
It goes a long way.
yeah,
I hear you. Dude, my computer is
About to die.
spazzing out.
I need to go to
It's
bed.
yeah, my computer's about to go to bed for me. Yo, it's making
I'm
some
about to go to bed eternally,
ringing. Yes.
forever.
I messaged him. I direct messaged him on Patreon. We'll see if that goes anywhere.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll
yeah.
he'll respond. He's awesome. There's no reason he won't.
I said,
Yeah.
"Yo, Taylor, I
Does he?
want
Have
to
you
know
talked to him before?
that
Like, does
Amir
he
and
know
Mike
you?
won't stop talking about you."
Like, have you
No, he
talked
doesn't
to
know
him?
me.
He doesn't know you.
I think I left a comment on one of his Patreon posts, like, "I want to see you guys play Alien Isolation or one of the Alien games together," because he made a short for that.
Yeah, he
It's
did.
just I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, I would love to be a part of that chat because I bet it's hilarious. He's like, "Yo, hop online." I was like, "Oh, damn, he probably would. He probably would play with me."
He told
Yeah.
you that?
Yeah, he said, "Yo, just tell him to hit me up and we'll hop online."
That's
But
cool.
I never did. I got
You
scared.
bitch.
Yeah.
You got a response
But yeah,
from
I told
your...
him that
We-
you guys miss him and they want you to hop on one of their stream calls sometime. And I said that they keep wanting to reach out to you.
It would be fucking
And you
distracting. Like, that's what I'm saying.
sending this
Like,
message for you
I would love
instead.
to have Eric and Taylor on, but
No
it would be so
progress.
distracting. Like, we would just not
gotta
get any
do
work
it.
done.
All right, you have to try it once, and if it like fails utterly, that's when you make the second channel.
What we do is we would have to do like a drawing stream, like a Photoshop drawing stream, because we all like Eric can draw like really grotesque things. I and Taylor can like we all like to draw grotesque things when we're hanging out, and so it would have to be just one of those because we can't be doing like Blender shit. Like it's just too
No.
boring.
Mhm.
It's gonna have to be like Photoshop, who can draw the weirdest face or human or like we can do a game. I did a game like this with another friend of mine who's a streamer, Finch Fish, and we were both basically drawing characters from like our memory of like pop culture, from memory. Like draw Mario from memory. Does Mario have eyebrows? Like where are they? Like that kind of stuff. And you're like, fuck, does he wear gloves? Like I don't know. And you kind of like forget all these like really basic things. Like does Yoshi like what does Yoshi look like? Does he have eyebrows?
Does Yoshi have shoes?
Does Yoshi have a book bag? Does he have
Yeah.
eyebrows? Like does he have teeth? Like all of those things. And
Yoshi
so
has teeth.
what are his eyes?
Imagine the fear of that thing going into its. And all it sees
Very
is this.
strong.
row
Does
of
Yoshi
teeth
have like
coming in.
ears? Does it have ears, or is it just like dots, or does it not have ears? I don't know. Like all of those
Yeah.
things, I think would be so fun to try to draw, either on stream or like on a video. I don't know, but I mean, I'm assuming Taylor is cooking his next thing, and I wouldn't want to like pull him away from that if he's like, you know,
I mean, if it's like just 2 hours, that's
Yeah.
all it takes. 2 hours.
maybe we can like swing some type of like hangout or something where we can like fit that in.
If he says something, I'll let you guys know. I'll message you in Discord.
Yeah, I'm in
Sure,
chats
sure.
with him. I'm in chats with him. It's not like he's elusive or nothing like that. But yeah, I think we've talked about it. I think Amir, you and I have to do a draw characters from our draw Goku from memory. Like I think that'd be fun, and just like
Yeah, yeah,
compare
no, I agree.
compare what we end up with. You know,
Yeah, no, for sure.
I think that'd be fun.
That could be a fun session.
And then
Yeah,
just
I
kind of
wanna
like
do Yoshi
I feel like
because-
for chat, it's like also interesting because they get to see us like mess up or like get things wrong. It's like a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, for the record, Yoshi has teeth.
Does
Remember
he? And you see
Stop.
them?
No, Amir, stop. You're not helping anybody.
that.
I believe
Yes,
it.
Michael.
Amir,
Michael. Yes, Michael.
you remember that? Remember that
Yes.
thing that Amir does when
Yes,
he
Michael.
lies?
Oh, is he covering
Look
up
for the
his mouth?
tell.
Is he just showing too much teeth?
His eyes aren't squinting.
He's showing too many Yoshi teeth.
Shh. He
I,
has
I
ears.
would like
know?
I want to like I want to challenge you. Like I want to challenge you to draw things that like draw Courage the Cowardly Dog from memory.
Yeah, yeah.
There's where he has a hole in one of his teeth, I think.
While screaming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be, yeah, that would be crazy. I would be so down. Like, really,
That's not
Mike,
a
if you
Yoshi.
had,
No, that's the Courage the
Dude,
Cowardly Dog.
yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fully invested. Put my shares into the stock market. I'm ready.
Into draw from memory coin.
Draw from memory coin. I like it.
Asapodian Commonwealth. This is correct. Donkey Kong's teeth are retractable. We've seen this.
Yeah, man.
A Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong's teeth
Oh,
are
is this like a
retractable.
Mario movie thing? I've not seen Mario.
No. In
No,
every
no,
game,
it's
every
just-
game, his teeth are
Retractable.
there, and then they aren't.
And then they're not. No, that's
Consistent.
Oh yeah, you're right. They do kind of go away. That is weird. You're right. I remember that.
Yeah, that's a keen observation.
Draw Eustace from Courage. Draw Timmy from Fairly Odd Parents from memory without looking.
Dude, you gotta do something even more niche. Like 'cause
What? You can draw Timmy. What do his eyes look like? Are they big or are they small?
I could
they
draw
overlap?
Timmy, I think. Yeah.
All right.
Mario
Well,
Brothers.
I want to see this.
draw like Kate Sith from Final Fantasy VII.
Okay,
from memory.
I don't know
That's
that
not
much.
happening.
I don't know like game
Like
stuff.
you have the image in your head, don't you?
I never.
But you can't fully make out. I'm talking about Amir.
I
Amir,
never
I'd
played
imagine
Final
Oh, okay,
Fantasy.
for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, but it would be a stretch. Like, I probably get like, yeah, niche.
Draw Shrek
Draw-
from memory.
Draw
Sure.
Tom from
Oh, God,
Toonami
yeah.
from memory.
No, that's a robot.
Yeah.
Draw
Oh, you can't. Is robots a no go?
Nah, it's just you gotta find somebody that you can kind of corrupt as you draw them.
You gotta curry someone
That's fair.
corruptible.
That is
Yeah.
yeah.
Draw like Ed
Draw-
from Ed, Ed and Eddie. You know,
Yes,
like
yes,
trying to draw
yes,
that would be
yeah.
so hard, and it would be like you have to make it look bad on purpose.
I am down. I am down.
I think there's a we got to do that maybe next week, next stream. We got to
Okay.
pull back from the usual work and do that.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I would be okay with that. Let's see, give them a status effect. This is something, a comment from Isopodian Commonwealth. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I will happily give them a status effect. Like Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddie, but with a burn status effect. What does that look like in the most corrupted, janky, ugly way possible?
Wait, what does Ed, Ed and Eddie with a burn look like? Is that what you're saying?
So a comment, yeah, basically, like somebody said, give them a status effect, and so I immediately thought, like, okay,
Paralyzed.
paralyzed or poisoned or burned or something of that nature. But yeah, Ed, Ed and Eddie with a
Confused.
status effect. Confused.
Just draw
I'm-
Ed.
I'm down. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I'm.
let's do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I'm saving.
I don't think I should be a part of that one.
You
I-
can
I'll
be
in
there.
the
I think you
chat.
have to be there for as an audience member. You can help judge who wins, who
Yeah.
gets it right, because it's kind of like it's almost like a challenge. It's almost like a duel. Like not only, and there's multiple levels to score. I think you can score based on accuracy, and you can also score based on like how funny it is, or like based on how wrong it is, or in the best way, or all those kinds of ways you can.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
Because I think it's, and I think like when we did it, when Finch Fish and I did it, we didn't do it as like just trying to be as hyper accurate as possible. It was more like how many, it's like how silly can you make it look? How entertaining and funny can it be? So
Mm.
like I drew Yoshi with like skinny legs or something, like big old arthritic knees and
no.
stuff,
Oh
and like
no.
tired, and you can do stuff like that.
All right.
Yeah.
The bed beckons,
All right, guys.
so I'm gonna head out.
Yeah,
All right, then,
Good
guys.
night.
I think I'm
Great
done.
stream.
Yeah,
Likewise.
thanks everyone for coming through. It was fun. Got a lot of work done, so never a bad thing. What up, Brett?
Yeah.
Has Hiccup even pros? Draw Arnold. Oh yeah, Arnold from Hey Arnold, or
Ooh.
draw Arnold
Stewie.
and you just get Stewie instead. Yeah, honestly, true. I think we try to draw,
Arnold
try to
as
try to
Stewie.
try to draw Stewie. Try to draw. I feel like you can draw like Peter pretty easily, but if you try to draw like, some of the older characters, draw Gerald,
Oh, what's the old man across the street?
Herbert.
Oh, Mr. Yeah.
Herbert.
Mr.
I can draw
Herbert.
Herbert from memory. I drew him a lot in high school.
Or
Yeah,
Draw-
I sure did.
You can draw Helga. Helga's a good one, or like Mr. Kakashka, like an obscure kind of character. Arnie, Arnie, I need help paying the rent. Arnie, you'd always be crying.
Gosh, it was too- oh my gosh, yeah, like it's.
What was
drawing
his
a
wife's
picture
name?
right
Like
now.
Cindy or something? I don't know. No, Cindy, please
Who-
take
what
me
was what were they
back.
thinking when they made that character?
He was just a sad.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Draw the angry beavers from memory. That made me think about like draw like
Oh.
cow and
man.
chicken from memory.
What about Real
Ooh.
Monsters?
I only
Draw that guy
I
who,
only
like,
remember
holds
the
his
guy. Yeah,
eyeballs?
that's the only one I remember.
Yeah.
Just draw him.
But imagine drawing like cow and chicken, like those really wild characters. Draw like Ren and Stimpy from like memory. That's
What's the
hard.
guy from Wild Thornberries?
Nigel.
Not
Oh
no.
no, not
No.
Nigel. Yeah. What's his name?
Skid or
Dude,
something. I don't
Crazy
know.
Skid.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fucking
Skid.
shit stain.
What
You
was his
remember
name?
Shit
I think
Stain,
it was
right?
something like that. It was like a single syllable.
I think so.
Was it
I
it
think
or
you're right.
something?
Yep. I don't know.
Close enough. It was like Skid or It or something. I think it was Skid.
Skid.
Skibbity. Oh my
Skibbity.
gosh.
So then you gotta draw Skid. If you think that's his name, you gotta draw Skid.
I'm down. Yeah. Let's bring this to life. Why don't we?
It was Donnie, guys.
Oh my
Was
God!
Donnie?
It was the most wild name ever.
You guys
it was-
called him Skid.
It should be Skid.
No. Why?
Because it's wild.
It
That's
is,
what-
yeah,
Anything wild. It's like that's a skid.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Look at
skid
that
over
skid.
there.
You're the Amazon and you see a skid coming your way. You're like,
You're in the
Oh, buddy.
Amazon.
you're
You
the
see a skid
Amazon.
coming your way. What the
Just,
fuck?
dude, I don't want none, man. I'm so...
You're in the jungle and you see a skid in the bushes.
exactly. Just, oh,
You hear a skid at night.
skid at
You
night.
see a
God,
skid like
forgotten.
approaching your tent. Right outside your tent, you hear a skid.
Just pray. Just pray. It's like just hear the sound of it. Just, oh my god. Guys, I gotta go.
All right.
It's bedtime.
Have a
All
good
right,
night, y'all.
it's for real.
Thanks
guys
for
too.
thanks Brett for all the suggestions. Those are amazing. We're definitely gonna do it.
Everybody.
I think next Tuesday, do another stream, and we're gonna draw these '90s cartoon characters
Absolutely.
from memory,
Check.
and chat's gonna judge who wins.
Yep. Channel, thanks for joining. It's been real. We will see each other next time.
Good night,
See you
everyone.
guys. Good night.
Night.